Yotev, having been given a lead by Terry and Darrington, you all met a group of individuals along the road, had some brief interactions with them, and attempted to assist them in whatever it was that they were working on. And then the very next day, ran into some curious creatures that seemed to have almost fallen from the sky. Most of them were dispatched, but one seemed to be able to crawl itself away, disappearing into the earth. Uh, with that, the party is now currently back on the road for Zadash, with the promise of reaching the city here in the next couple of hours. I'm gonna pick up with you all in the same area where that combat had ended, in case there's any last minute things you wanted to do. But beyond that, the city is only a few hours of travel away, and the next leg of whatever is going to happen on your search for Yotev will continue there.
I'd like to inspect the meteorites and probably take a fragment of one.
Absolutely. Make a nature check for me, please.
That's a 4 on the die, continuing my streak, which is a 8.
Solid 8. The hold up, sorry. As you take a look at it, you don't seem to have any idea or indication as to what this
Oh boy.
Oh.
Your thing died.
Lost a DM.
Losing the DM.
Are we good?
I don't know, are we?
Not your bard, though.
I'm aware the bard is also down.
Okay.
I'm just... My entire thing freaked out, so I'm making sure I'm back.
I'm glad that you're back.
Yeah, I care way more about Caleb.
As an apology, you're giving us all inspiration.
No.
Oh, well.
I'll take 20 gold.
I will take also 20 gold.
This isn't a debate.
It could be.
This isn't what have you done for me lately.
This is a thank you for running our session, Caleb.
Oh, yes. Also after... Oh.
Yeah, that's not staying up for some reason. I don't know why.
It's okay.
I'll work with
We
you
don't
this
need
week
it.
for... Oh boy. I need more Discord logins.
Here, I'll just share that, and we won't actually end up using it. Just
Beautiful.
to keep your...
Oh, you're amazing. Oh.
Thing lined up.
I'll put on some music then.
All right. At any rate, with an 8, you're not entirely certain what it is that this stone is made out of. It doesn't seem to be a mineral that you are familiar with, which in itself is a little bit of information. Additionally, as you take a look at it, there is a very flaky sort of aspect to it. It is a brittle stone, from what you can tell, and you're able to easily, as a result, break a chunk of it off for potentially future examination of some kind.
Can I also try to look at the story stone?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a nature check for me.
Why did it change my tune? I have a +3 to nature for a 15.
You take a look at it. The stone itself, actually a lot like Aiden, is not a mineral that you're familiar with. It is a we do get a little bit of extra like aspects of it. It is very brittle. It looks like it is some sort of sedimentary stone, as it has these very thin sheets sort of stacked on top of one another, that when you break, it does kind of flake apart, and it shatters in different sections on each layer, causing this strange sort of the sections sort of crumble in between when you break it off, and it causes this strange sort of jaggedness to the stone itself. Looking it over, the one thing that you do notice that is significant is that it does seem, even though it is very faint, it seems to have little flakes of metal in the stone as well. It doesn't seem to be just a solid thing of stone. There is traces of some sort of metallic substance inside.
Oh, I'll add to Aiden because he seems interested in the raft. And then I'll hand him the piece I grabbed.
Is there anything else anyone wanted to do?
Some of these things are dead, right? Around here.
Most of them, yes.
Unfortunate.
Want to go ahead and search them, see if there's anything on them.
You toss them over, and you don't seem to see anything on their person as far as like something that they're carrying. These do seem to be very animalistic, though. Taking a look at them, you do see that they have pretty intense looking claws on the ends of their arms, legs, and tail. So 5 on each of them. And while the creature doesn't seem to have anything as far as like lootable objects, the hooks on them do appear to be pretty sharp and maybe useful for something if you wanted to lop some of those off and find a person.
You know what?
Mhm.
I think I will. I think I'll take one creature's, all of them. So how many would that be?
It's 5 on each, so 4 claws and 1 sort of tail talon thing.
That's 25, right?
If you're doing,
We said it was
all of them?
5. Yeah. Whole body. It's 25 of the little knifey guys, right?
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so there'd be 7. So there'd
Oh.
be 35 if you want to take the time to go through and get all of them.
No, just one body.
1 body would be 5.
Okay, 5.
Okay.
They all seem to end in one large singular hook. There is on the hand, as you sort of examine the front claws, there does seem to be an opposable sort of miniature talon at the end, but otherwise it is just basically a clawed hand, almost like a crab, except the main hook is probably a good foot to a 1.5 feet in length, and then the one opposable is only about 2 to 3 inches. So it is a massive curved hook with like this little itty bitty thumb at the bottom.
I got 5 of those.
I will, because the one beside me died, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna be really sad, and I'm gonna give it a funeral. So I'm gonna. My friend didn't make it, so I'll lay out some incense around it, and light that up, and then just start to like kind of pray in a sense, and send it off. And if anybody's watching, little like black ooze will come out of my like open like eye socket and kind of like hit the ground, so it's like kind of like I'm crying. And then these little tendrils on the ground will kind of like come up and like start to like wrap themselves around the monstrosity there, and all of a sudden out of it will burst as the little tendrils tighten. It will like kind of crack and like rip apart all of its bones, so there's a lot of viscera on the ground, and out of that like a very pale looking slug with like, let me see here, I have a picture, a good picture, I can paste it too, with like 5 legs on each side of it, and they all have like little hooks, and then jagged spines kind of like along the top of its head and body, which you can't really tell the difference. It's just like an entirely long, like slug-like creature with 5 legs on each side. Very pale to the point that you can see any veins or like tendons that are like underneath its actual skin. On each of the legs, there's a black, like pock-like mark, like it looks very diseased. And when it like crawls out, all you can hear is the clicking from like its like spines as it's like moving out. Its face is like, it doesn't really have like a nose, it just has 2 eyes on the side, and its mouth, like when it opens or like it chitters a little bit, has rows of like fanged like teeth, and it will crawl out of the viscera and kind of like come to me, seeing that I'm sad, and just crawl up my arm and kind of like rest and like rub its like spines along my head. We couldn't keep the friend from before, but maybe you'll stay and be my friend. And I would have cast Find Familiar.
If you don't mind posting the reference image just for everyone, so that they can see.
I changed the color scheme, but yeah.
Yes. As you cast this spell, you feel a weird sort of tether grow between the two of you, and a connection forms as this little like worm crawls up your arm and just sort of starts to rest on your shoulder. It kind of looks like a weird eldritch version of Silky from Teen Titans.
I now need to watch Teen Titans.
Gets that reference.
I understood. I got it. It's Starfire's pet.
Yes.
And then it will go and kind of like it will stay there for a second, and I'll say, Jesus Christ, it actually does, Jesus. I'll be like, you can come along for the ride if you want, and it will crawl up my head, kind of like around, and kind of crawl into my eye socket, and you can kind of like hear each of the tines kind of like clicking against the like open eye socket, and then it kind of like, when it moves around in my head, you'll hear like little like scratching, like if you're near enough to do it. But then its face, like its like mouth, will protrude out and close, and it looks like a closed eye socket now.
Truly the stuff of nightmares.
Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure I understand what he just did.
Mm-hmm.
He took this big ass creature.
Yep.
That was dead.
Yep.
Made it his familiar, and it crawled into his itty bitty eye.
Mm-hmm.
I cried.
How did it shrink down?
No. I didn't turn it
So-
into my familiar. I
His
summoned my own
familiar-
familiar from it.
Came out of it full
Oh.
alien style.
Okay, so it's not the. Okay.
No. So
okay,
I would have been.
okay.
I would have been sad that my
Oh.
friend that you guys were, that you guys had beaten up and killed. Yeah, murdered. Thank you. You know what? Thank you.
You murdered
Sandra?
that one.
I did not. Maybe I did. Anyways, I was very sad about
You
it.
did the one
and-
right next to you.
Well, one of them got away, so I think that my friend was the one who got away. But I took all of the great features that I liked about it, like its talons and
Okay, okay.
claws
No,
and
I
its
got-
teeth and stuff, and I summoned something sort
must
of
have
like
missed the part that it was a whole separate being that came out of it.
yeah, the tendrils that I like
Sorry.
cried out ripped the other one apart, and out
Okay.
of that came.
Got it.
It's like a knoll where they're born from dead creatures, except instead of being born from a dead hyena, it's born from a dead weird alien worm creature of some kind. After whatever that was, the rest of you kind of take a stock of the area around you, and besides the stones that are still sort of around in these crater impact spaces, there's not a lot of extra things around in this area to really see or interact with. So as you begin to sort of pack up with the intention of keep moving down the road, you're left with this sort of odd sinking feeling of the one that got away and what will come of it.
I guess just real quick before we move on,
Yes.
did it seem like this had been fairly recently that these had come down?
It does. When you were originally found that these things were here, the smoke from the impacts were still rising off of the stones.
But we didn't see them fall?
No.
Weird.
Indeed.
Why wouldn't we see them fall?
Weren't we asleep?
So, to the dash?
Onward.
I'm
Where we're
ready.
headed?
With that, you press on. About 3-ish hours later, you guys begin to crest the side of a hill in the midst of the valley, and you see the city of Zadash laid out in front of you. Zadash is a massive city in the south of the Dwendalian Empire, built around a trio of towers. The city sort of stretches out in this large, almost triangular walled shape. As you get closer towards the city, over the next hour, the walls seem to grow in front of you as they reach a good 25 feet into the air. The southern gate, with a 15-foot wide portcullis that's held aloft by these large chains. Groups of Crown's Guard flank both sides and begin to sort of wander up and communicate with some of the individuals coming through. Some of them are very quick, sort of recognizing individuals who have gone in or go in or out multiple times throughout the day. They seem to be well known amongst the guard and generally are pretty hands-off. But as carts and caravans make their way through, they're stopped, inspected, and then allowed in. Certain travelers have been stopped and asked for, their reason for making it into the city. It seems to be a little bit on, not necessarily high alert, but there's something going on where they are checking people as they come in and making sure that they have a stock of who all enters and exits the city. As you get in closer, you see that the city has almost like a two-walled system. The first wall prevents it sort of presents as more of a strategic defensive wall, where along the top there are dozens of Crown's Guard that march and patrol, stand on these towers that segment the wall every couple of 100 feet across. And the interior wall seems to be one that is built as a form of almost anti-siege. If the first wall breaks due to trebuchets or some other engine of war, the second wall is there to catch and prevent, or at least buy extra time for the city to mount a defense. You begin to approach this sort of curving road that heads towards the south side of the city. Is there anything anyone would like to do in preparation before getting your questioned, or are you just marching forward?
I'm from here, so I'm not worried about walking into the city.
Do you think that they would be weirded out if I was walking? Should I go on your shield, maybe, Varnax?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes. So I'll strap him up, put him on back.
Easily done. Anyone else?
I'll just walk alongside Cassandra.
Alright. As you approach, one of the guards just sort of holds up a hand for you to stop and have a quick conversation with them. They approach in a set of 3, and 2 of them just sort of walk around to the other sides of your small band, just sort of existing as a measure of showing a sign of strength. The other sort of walks up, looks to be a half-orc, long bit of facial hair that is probably a good 2 to 3 inches off of the jaw. Well kept. The beard itself seems to be the main focal point of the facial hair, as the mustache is shaved so that the teeth can sort of stick up over the sides without getting inhibited by any sort of loose hair on the upper lip. There is a nose that looks to have been cracked very recently, still a little swollen, but is in the process of healing. And the half-orc has a good scar that sort of starts at the under eye and reaches down and disappears into the beard. From that scar, there is a whiteness to that eye, as if he has been blinded out of it. As you all approach, he sort of steps forward and says, "Afternoon. We'll be needing names and reason for entering the city today."
I'm gonna start. Yes, I start, right?
Sure.
I'm Sandra. We're just stopping by on our way to the next city. We're gonna stop in and say hi to my aunts while we're here. We'll probably only be here for a day, maybe 2. I believe is the current plan.
You see he marks down something on a large sort of clipboard sort of contraption. It seems to be made out of metal, where there is a instead of a piece of paper, it looks almost like a chalkboard of sorts, where he's scratching this information down, and as he finishes writing, the letters sort of give a brief flash and disappear off the page. And he sort of turns to the 3 others who he can see are, there, sort of overlooking Kenji, and says, and names for your friends?
I am Killian Rockwell, here escorting my friends.
I'm Bill. follower of, all things good.
I would love for you to make a deception check for me. The Dragonborn walking up, calling himself Bill.
That's what it translates to
Sure,
from Dragonborn. How about a 22?
He sort of pauses at the of all things good line of like, I mean, all right, sure, but seems to jot your name down as if nothing's the matter, and then sort of turns towards Aiden.
Aiden Conley.
Right. Put down reason for all of your visits as familial ties, sort of gestures towards you, Cassandra, and says, just so you know, city is on a bit of a lockdown in the recent days. Any entrance or exit from the Tri-Spires will need to be marked. Sort of looks you all over, and you get the sense of like immediately in his mind writing off all of you as like, you're not going to end up there anyway.
Before he says anything else, I'm going to be like, do we have to do that every time we walk in and out of the Tri-Spires?
It would be every time, yeah. Unless
Even
you
if
have
it's
a
the
pass.
same set of guard, how do we get a pass? Because I don't really want to deal with that if we're going back and forth over and over.
Passes were handed out to people within the Tri-Spires and people with business.
Oh, perfect.
That
Okay, great.
brings them there. You sort of say, okay, perfect. He just sort of shrugs his shoulders as if, sure, whatever. And he sort of looks over at the other two, who the two others just sort of nod as if they were inspecting you for something. They both nod in your general direction. Kenji, one of them does, like, as they were around on one side, gives you like a bit of a curious and concerned glance, but quickly goes over you as unimportant as they go over. They seem to be scanning the rest of the party. With that, he just sort of gives a brief whistle, rounds his finger like this, and your group is allowed into the city proper. Making your way through the southern gate, you hear immediately that there is a dramatic change in the atmosphere. The city street is still slick with the morning frost that has since melted in the afternoon heat, but has caused the cobblestone streets to become slick underfoot. You hear people calling out wares, people loudly having conversation, creating a general din of just excitement or purposeful sort of energy throughout the city, causing a lot of, especially around this entrance, there's a lot of coming and going and quick moving from the people that are here. Immediately, though, you do hear what sounds like a town crier going through a circular list of sort of call-outs that they're making, starting with the Tri-Spires still under lock and key in midst of a series of break-ins. New leads being asked for by the Crown. Any information that can lead towards an arrest will be compensated with gold. Going on to a new one, it says, local shop has shut down for the foreseeable future after strange occurrences lights and fear for potential demonic activity. It seems to be referring to some strange ritual that has happened recently, potentially. The last thing that you hear that seems of note and that catches your ear is the call out of brink of war with Xhorhas. tensions between the two countries have risen to an all-time high. Be prepared. Be prepared to help join the fight against our neighbors should the Crown's Guard need your assistance. From there, he sort of goes through extra lines, things that seem very political, very uninteresting, and moves through and rounds about to the top again.
The second thing we heard, we could go make some friends. Who do we lose?
I crashed for a moment. I'm back.
That's
Welcome.
my share.
Let's find an inn and a place to stay first.
I'm not staying, and I'm gonna go stay with my family.
I'm gonna go ahead and get some coffee. Out of my.
Do you guys want to do any shopping?
I probably would have turned to Cassandra at some point and been like, you seemed like you thought you could get us into the Tri-Spires.
I live there. That's where I'm from.
Do you think they would let all of us in?
Probably. I don't see why not. We're going to visit family. My family lives there. You'd have to behave.
I just,
When do
I
we
wasn't
not
sure.
behave?
I stopped by here once before and tried to get in to seek information at the Solstice Academy. And they turned me away really without even a second glance.
Keelan, now where I went to school at? Very confident? Isn't that? I'm pretty sure.
I have to re-look up your backstory real quick. Let me look.
I'm pretty confident that's what you and I have decided. The White Hall, third edition, setting. Very suggestion. I don't know, is the Hall of the Erudition different from the Solstice Academy?
No, so the Hall of Erudition is a part of the. Let me double check this before I say something.
I was pretty sure that was where we had determined I learned magic from. Besides the sisters, because the dude while I'm there.
The Hall of Erudition is an archive and school of magic headed by one of the members of the Cerberus Assembly. It is held in the Zauberspire, which is a where is the it is a branch of the Solstice Academy within Zadash. The Solstice Academy itself exists in the city of Rexentrum. This is basically like a satellite campus, more or less.
Right. So yes, the answer would be yes. I could get him it. Theoretically, question mark, but probably. So I tell you that I studied there, but at the Hall of Erudition, which is a sub-branch of the Solstice Academy, because you're thinking of the wrong place. We're just gonna pretend that you didn't say Solstice Academy. It's in the Hall of Erudition.
It would be effectively.
Would it still be Solstice Academy?
It is a part of the Solstice Academy. Yes. So it'd be like saying.
Business school at IU.
Yeah, I could get you into, I tried to go to LSU, but they turned me away. But you meant like LSUS.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just a satellite campus.
Okay. So then, yeah, I studied there. So I could probably Like, what were you trying to learn?
Well, it was the same information I wanted that I kind of got some from Terry and the brigade, but just any unusual activities that might have been related.
You can try to go ask. If you want to while we're here, doesn't hurt to. We have some amount of time. We're gonna be here at least for today, right? Generally asking everybody else. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't think we want to spend too much time here, but
But we're not leaving until tomorrow. Like, we're staying the night here, right?
what time of day is it right now?
It is early afternoon, probably about 2 or 3 o'clock.
So,
How far away from our destination are we?
It depends on what destination you're referring to.
The Shady Creek.
Shady Creek Run?
Oh, like weeks of walking away.
Probably try to find some sort of transportation to shorten our journey a little bit. We'll probably have to at least spend until tomorrow doing that.
And look for some horses.
Okay. Jillian, is there anything that you think that you need while we're in the city? Because it's a very large city and they have pretty much everything. Or close to.
Mm. I could look at new weapons, possibly.
I'm down to visit wherever.
Billion, do you know if there's anything here that Yotev might have needed? Did he tell you anything specific he was trying to find?
Next my question.
We'll get back to that when we ask right.
Just to know if he had like general things, or I guess if we see something that looks interesting for him. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think
less-
I would just keep an eye out for whenever we go shopping if there's something that stands out.
Yeah, and I'm thinking less along the lines of standard items and more along the lines of like random inventing items that he might need, like materials.
We shall keep our eyes peeled for him.
Kumats is just a magic shop, right? Does it have weapons? Or is the weapons that are there are magical weapons?
The Invulnerable Vagrant is a general magic shop. It might have weapons depending on when you go, but it seems to be more of a on-demand or what's on hand sort of a shop where I might have a weapon, or it may all just be trinkets, or it may all be, you know, specialized things that I've been asked to make for, you know, this person or that person.
Okay. So
I
we can
wouldn't
check
mind.
that.
Wouldn't mind
If we-
taking a look.
And then do I know of where the other weapon shops would be?
You would be familiar with a couple of different locations within the Pentamarket. The Invulnerable Vagrant being one. There's a place referred to as the Sparkhammer Smithing. There is Grace of the Wilds, which is a potion and salves spot. And then there is a shop that you wouldn't have personally been in, but it's referred to as Suvo's Secrets.
What's that? What's that one about? I mean,
Nice one.
what's that one?
You
Far-
want to go?
Far next, we should go to the secrets one.
All right.
It seems direly important. Life or death situation, you know.
All right.
Should we try to find some stables or something and see about renting animals first, since they might take time to be prepared? Or do we want to stay together? I don't know what everyone's thinking about right now.
Split the party. I mean,
I don't care if we go run through the shops first because they're on this end of the city before we get up to the Trispire, right? Like the markets and stuff are on the lower end of the city. If I'm
not-
remembering from the map.
Not particularly. So the way that the city is laid out, the southern half, as you enter, is sort of an affluent or middle class sort of an area as it sort of breaks off into different sections. And the further out you go from that main street towards the two corners, it gets sort of less and less well maintained and kind of gets a little bit to the poorer neighborhoods. But if you enter through the street and go all the way to where the center is, there's a large circular street that inside is the Pentamarket, referred to as the Pentamarket because there are a bunch of different streets that sort of shoot off in 5 different directions.
Oh, I see.
And then so that's like that central section there. And then there are the actual like merchant class are behind or sort of around encircling it. And at the northern end of the Pentamarket is the gates towards the Tri-Spires.
Do
So
we
we're
happen
gonna
to have a
pass through
map
it.
of this, DM?
I got
Uh,
it. I
I
got it.
can post one in HC chat, but I did
Oh.
not put it into Foundry because this is a fan-made one, and I'm not gonna put it on stream unless I give credit, and I don't know who made it.
Got you.
I have this one.
I-
This is the one that I've seen. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
different from yours.
That works.
I was trying
Is
to
that
think
not-
of it. I thought that Explorer's Guide to Wild Map God.
It does not.
Not it. It doesn't though. Yeah, so we came in through the bottom middle gate, right?
Yes. So the eastern and western outer steads are sort of as you go further out, it gets sort of to the more poor and less heavily affluent areas. If you go straight up, you head to the Interstead Sprawl, where is this sort of big circular thing there with the Pentamarket on one end and a bunch of different shops in like higher end areas there. With the you'll note the King's Hall on the far eastern side of it being where you would typically go to see like the Lawmaster and things like that. That's where like the guards are, is in the King's Hall. And then the very north is the Tri-Spire, beyond a separated sort of walled off area.
So if we want to go shopping, we can before we go to the Tri-Spire. If you guys are wanting to go into the Tri-Spire, and if you're not wanting to go, you don't have to. But we're gonna pass
say
where
we-
we would go shopping.
I say we go shopping and then we worry about accommodations and animals for you all.
Okay, then to the Pentamarket. Do we want to go down that list for each of the shops one by one?
Sure.
I would like to stop by a stables first. I think Aiden.
Stables would be very easy. Stables would be basically right where you guys walk in. They would keep it to the far south, close to the gates, so that it's not going to overtake the city with the smell of livestock. So you're able to pretty quickly find some areas around here that do seem to at least hold animals for people. Outside the city would be like the really cheap stables if you wanted to house your horses on the outside of the wall, but and the price sort of goes up dramatically with the protection of the walls and the fact that you're gonna have a guaranteed like, oh yeah, the city watch is gonna be here and like watching this, so it's a lot more safe and secure. That sort of increases the price a bit, but there's a stable just nearby, referred to as the Zemni Valley. Zemni Valley stables that have a collection of horses or other beasts of burdens that could be purchased, and or open stalls that can be rented for your own personal rides.
I have a question about
Yes.
my spells.
Okay.
All right, so on the Find Steed
hmm
spell, does that steed just stay until it dies, or do I have to do it all the time?
It stays until it dies or is dismissed.
And it doesn't need to eat or anything like that, right?
It wouldn't, though it would likely. It wouldn't like be a requirement, but it's still like a creature and would likely seek out food.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'm just saying I wouldn't have to pay a stabling fee.
depends on what you want to do with it. You can always just dismiss it and call it back later. In which case you wouldn't. But if you'd want to like have it around so that you don't
Okay.
have to waste a spell slot or something like that, then it's really flexible. So it'd be up to you.
All right. And then what do I get from that?
So
It's level based, right?
it isn't level based. It is spell slot or spell level based, I guess. So let me look up that spell. There's a list in that spell of creatures that you could summon. So a warhorse, pony, camel, elk, or mastiff.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
If there is a different kind of creature that you think would fit Varnex a little bit better, I am open to expanding that.
Well,
list.
I don't know. Let me pull up some mount.
Yo, Warhorse,
I don't know.
though?
I think there's one that will fit better when you have Find Greater Steed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
I definitely have that same thought. But until then,
Yo. Yo, what are these greater steeds, dude?
There are also there's an elephant. If you wanted an elephant,
Oh boy.
that's on the typical list.
And goat.
Where's the list at for so I can just look? While people are
Um,
doing other things, I can. If you can give me a link, I'll just look and then we'll see what happens.
Actually, what size are you? You're medium. Would have to be- the list is basically that plus plus elephant, but I'm gonna look something else up. What is everyone else doing while you're? What is everyone else's goal? Where are you heading?
I'm looking for a fast horse.
For fast horse. Okay.
Yep.
So the fastest would be probably the riding or warhorse. Let's see. With a speed of 60 feet, it would be either a riding horse or a warhorse would be your fastest.
Okay.
Bless you.
War horses are incredibly expensive. They are 400 gold each. A riding horse would be 75 gold, but if you're willing to go a little bit slower, then you've got donkeys and mules that are incredibly slow. Or not incredibly slow, but incredibly cheap. Or like a pony would be relatively cheap, but it would also be difficult for a lot of you to ride on a pony.
Yeah, I'm pretty massive. Can I ride on Varnex still when we're riding, or do I need to get my own?
You could ride like alongside anyone. Cassandra would be able to easily do the same of just riding on a like shrinking down and like grabbing onto the saddle and riding alongside it there, or just there is also the opportunity of pooling your stuff and getting a singular like animal in a cart.
Yeah, but he's already riding on my shield as I'm walking, so it wouldn't be any
Right.
different.
As a group, it would. There.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Of a cart, yeah.
Oh, yes.
If we're thinking about getting to Shady Creek Run, would we want to go faster, or do we want to just try to get a bunch of just standard horses, or is it like a carriage?
Seems like if Barnex has no need for a mount, then it's just me and you that really need one, Killian.
Why does Varna? Oh yeah. Who
Does
do I get to ride with?
Me.
Still don't hear you.
Do we know how fast Varnak's mount would go?
Everyone else would have heard it.
I can get a warhorse free, so
Okay, so I'm down to get a riding horse. I don't know, Aiden, if you would be down for that, just to help reduce the amount of time to get to Shady Creek Run.
Do they have other options besides the horses here, or is it probably just horses here for the most part?
For here, there would be horses. Both. They would have warhorse, riding horse, draft horse, pony, donkey, mule, all easily available. If you wanted to find something else, you could always search around a little bit.
What's the pretty horse that I had found that I wanted?
all right. So there you go.
Our steed.
I'll do it as a warhorse.
Okay.
How do you spell
Um,
that?
Aiden, what were you thinking as far as other transportation?
I was just curious. In I don't know. Where I live, there are rocks that aren't ridden commonly, but there are some people you can. I'm sure that would be something extremely difficult to find around here, but I was just curious if there was anything else.
Did you just say a rock?
ROC, right? Like a bird?
Yes, so we have fire tamers who lure the rocks to the elemental rift to... It's kind of like pest control. They'll eat the creatures that come out of it and they take on fiery properties as a result. But they also will occasionally grant favors to the people who are close to them. But I was just curious if they had anything else. I mean, a horse is obviously our fastest thing, and we don't want to spend too much time. It's probably what makes the most sense here.
As soon as you said rock, my head would have shot up and looked at you in surprise when I would have asked you that. Kenji is now very intrigued by your explanation.
How much
Very
did we
interesting.
determine last time of Valinor Steed would cost?
You know, it's probably close to a lower horse. It's the same CR. But I don't know if a Valinor Steed would be an option for Varnex or not.
I don't want him to have it. I want to have it. It's a pretty starry horse.
Barnex is just gonna summon it, ride it for 5 feet, and then just dismiss it. Assert
want the
authority over
greatest
that.
I don't think it makes quite as much sense for him because it's like a fey horse, basically.
I don't want him to have it.
It would not be something you would be capable of finding here. A Valinor steed would be a fey creature and not a like a typical beast that would just sort of be roaming the Zemni fields.
Why are you worried about me getting something when I already just summoned just a regular warhorse?
So
This is another option for you if you want it. as
Axe
the
beak.
creature. Yeah.
What is that?
It's
an
called an
axe
axe
beak.
beak.
Oh, that's
It's-
right.
Oh,
we
yeah.
fought those.
We
Yeah,
had one.
It's like a chocobo
We did have
with a blade for a beak.
Would that
So
be
we got-
here on this side? I thought that was a
Uh,
Zorkos thing.
So he is able to summon it. So actually, and because he's from Draconia, which is in Jorhos, it would be something
know.
you'd be pretty familiar with.
He
It'd be
could
an animal
probably
you're familiar with taking.
Same,
care of.
the same with the orc.
the
Aurochs.
Aurochs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aurochs is a little bit slower though. It's only speed 50.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go with that. That looks pretty cool for right now.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
The
Question.
you cast find steed, and what does the axe beak look like? Is it this photo exactly, or is it different?
No. It is going to be black.
Mhm.
All right, with a very glossy black beak, red eyes. Its feet and legs going down to the ground will also be black. On its chest, it will have a strip of gray feathers that go down in kind of like a V for Varnex, right?
No.
No,
Sure.
just you know.
Uh-huh.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, that's
You cast it, and it almost looks there's like a raven-esque quality to it, as it is a large bird, but it's got like the sleek black feathers of a raven. Its eyes are a sort of burning red, almost as it's like continually full of just this malicious air of like, fuck with me and I will fuck you up. And it's as it sort of rises up, there is a massive fluttering of the wings. The wings don't really serve much of a purpose on the creature, except for like slowing its fall when it's jumping. It seems to have evolved to no longer really use the wings for much. But as it sort of flares them up, a frill of black feathers sort of spike on the back of its neck in a bit of like an antagonistic way before settling down. And it allows you to sort of hop on, but it seems almost like begrudgingly to do so, as it's this sort of very aggressive animal normally.
Varnex, I haven't told you this normally, but I like your taste in animals.
thank you. This is Brinchine. I'll put that in chat for you because it's draconic for raven.
Why is this only a paladin spell? I want to think about Prestige.
So
So once I named it, does it calm down any? Does his eye stop rolling?
It does. It's sort of like, as a part of the spell, it gets summoned, and it's not until the naming that it causes this binding to you. With it, the other elements of the spell also happen. So, the axe beak typically is not a very smart animal. It's got an intelligence of 2, but as that bond connects, it sort of gains a level of intelligence to it as you begin to sort of share some of your thoughts with it. Let's see.
Aren't they? Okay, so just reading the actual spell, it says unusually intelligent, strong,
Yes.
and loyal.
Yeah.
So, okay.
When you first summoned it, it seemed to almost be like a wild animal, and then once you named it, the effects of the spell overlap and cause it to actually lock in, which, you know, causes its intelligence to become 6 and be able to understand the language that you speak.
It is going to understand draconic.
Fantastic.
So as we go to the stables, I guess I will just look at riding horses and do they rent them out, or do they only sell them? Do you plan on coming back here? I don't know.
As you're
I would probably here.
you approach, and the wood elf at the stable sort of we rent out for local events, people who parades, things like that, who want someone to ride on the back of an animal throughout the parade, or things like that, ceremonial things along those lines. For out of city travel, we would have to sell it to you, unless you had some writ or notice that would cause extenuating circumstances. Things like we've rented to some band recently as a result of the Lawmaster's request. But those are a bit challenging to get your hands on, as you need to be doing some sort of service for the city. Otherwise, be able to sell them. Is there a particular animal you were interested in?
I think I'm just looking to get a riding horse. Are those readily available, or would it take some time to prepare?
We can. I'll actually show you who we have right now. He walks you over, and I assume Killimash, or not Killimash, Killian, since you're also, in my defense, right? Because I've been fucking up with Persai and Kenji.
No, it's
right?
great.
In my
Oh, boy.
defense, canonically, that makes more sense for me to fuck
No,
up
you're
Killian.
good. Yeah.
Killian, as you, the two of you are brought over, there's a couple of different riding horses, and he gives a brief description of some of them. There seems to be a number of them that are just, your standard everyday riding horse, but it does point out, and then in the end, we have our newest and still most troublesome of our horses. We never got a name with him, and he isn't really like people much, or at all.
What
I'll
color
be
is
honest.
he?
He is a almost full gray riding horse, with the sort of fur over the hooves being white, and the mane itself being a dark black. There's white on the snout as well, and for those of you paying close attention, there's what looks to be a little bit of scarring around the muzzle of the animal. And the guy says, I'll be honest, I don't know how comfortable this one would be, but if you're looking for, if you're up to it, that one is cheaper, but with the knowledge that it's going to be hard to rein in. We haven't been able to really calm him down ourselves just yet. We've only had him for about a week and a half, so.
Can I get small while he's talking and try to fly up to the horse
Oh boy,
and give him pets?
gonna get eaten.
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah.
for you to make an animal handling check
Oh, excellent.
I knew this was coming.
with disadvantage.
Oh, snap!
Oh, I got a 13 and a 17, so I got a 15, I think. Yeah, 15.
With a 15, you approach, and it fully backs up as you approach and continues to do so. And it does this thing where as you get close, it sort of nips the air and puffs really loudly and tries to stomp the foot. It seems like an angry animal. You do kind of get the sense that it has suffered some level of a rough life. You're not entirely sure from what or how, but as you get in close, it is I mean, most horses, if taken care of well, are basically pure muscle. This thing is that same level of just pure muscle, but you do sort of spot these scars along the side, along the around parts of the neck, and a lot around its snout, its face. As you get close, it doesn't attack necessarily, but it is very like territorial, like stomping the hoof, puffing in your face, nipping in your general direction, very much like a like don't come near me sort of a body language off of the end.
Aiden, this animal is you to a T. I think it will bond with you.
If it doesn't work out, Varnex, we could also use it for lunch.
I'm sure that Bren would like it.
I mean, I'm not super familiar with animals. I haven't worked with them a lot. That's more of what my father did. I don't know if we have time to really train him. We're kind of in a hurry. How
You
much
can train him on the road. I'm telling you, I think you can make a quick bond with this animal now.
how much less expensive is this one?
A normal riding horse will run about 75 gold. He is 60.
I'll just kind of say out of the side of my mouth a little bit, they'd be lucky to get 50 out of it.
Aiden, are you looking for another horse?
Well, I think
This one's so pretty.
if
And
there's a
he's
horse
been
that's already
hurt.
trained, I think that would probably be better for us right now. I'm not confident that I could get it to do what we need, and we've got quite some ways to go. What if it ran off on us 2 days in? That would be quite the setback overall.
Do you mind if I try something?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Alright, I'm going to try to approach the horse.
Mhm.
And I'm going to try to gesture to it slowly and just see if I can get it to just calmly approach me if I just stay there steadily and just breathe calmly. No expression.
Are you doing anything to assist in this attempt?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like,
Like,
any beyond like just standing there and holding out your hand? Are you offering it anything? Are you trying to?
does it like
do you have
gold?
any spells about it?
It doesn't like gold.
Does it like gold? 60, actually.
How do you know? It might be a gold sniffer.
Pocket bacon.
Wrong
yeah,
cafe.
pocket bacon. I have some rations. I'll try to present it some food.
All right, go ahead and roll an animal handling check, please.
Okay. Okay. I know what I have, but I'm also gonna boost this bad boy with knowledge from a past
Okay.
life. So it's an extra D6.
Mhm.
24.
Can I use prestidigitation on the food that he's got to make it yummier?
No, no need. You pull out some of your rations, and it's some of the stuff that's like, it's weird that you still carry rations, but you sort of pull them out and offer them a little bit, and the horse at first is very much like bows up at your approach into its pen, and it sort of sees the food and does a little bit of like a back and forth trot of like not sure, but eventually you stand.
Can I say that, like, from the knowledge from a past life, I can recall a memory of when I was actually already taming a horse, pulling from my memory of Killamash, and interact based on that understanding that I've already had of taming a horse over time?
Yeah, you get a weird sort of standing here. There's a weird deja vu that comes over you of just you're not certain where it comes from. You don't know the source of it, but you remember standing in front of a creature that is just a massive, powerful beast of burden, and how there was this weird moment of you being still, calm, unflinching, and sort of just this weird feeling of, if I make myself seem like my presence is no big deal, then I can sort of impart this level of, I'm nothing that you need to be worried about. And so you end up like standing there holding out this food, these rations, and you go almost into your sleep in quotation marks, where you basically just sort of like stand there, still conscious but sort of zoned out, and you almost become a fact of the space around you. And as you do, the horse does eventually calm and stop getting as irritated by the fact that there is a stranger in the area that it has claimed as its space, and slowly makes its way in your direction, just sort of checking out the new thing that is here. And when it finds that this new thing bears food, it slowly takes some and begins to eat, and you refocus into yourself, and as it's eating, you place a hand on the side of its neck, and it almost doesn't recognize that you have moved until the hand is already there, and it does startle a bit, but you're able to calm it enough to where it doesn't seem like it's about to freak out or butt you in any way.
How about we take this one?
What do you think, Aiden?
Seems like it likes you.
This one's so pretty, and he's been hurt. Look, all of his scars. We gotta take care of it.
I'm gonna kind of look towards the other horses, and I'm gonna pull out my pipe. And I'm gonna blow out some smoke, and it's gonna take the form of another horse, and it's gonna kind of run past some of their heads. I'm gonna look for one that doesn't seem to be spooked at all.
A good number of them do spook. There seem to be a few on the end that don't seem too perturbed. Like, they still take notice and sort of watch it, but they don't seem scared, they don't seem skittish, they just sort of seem
Interested.
Yeah, they watch the thing run off and watch it as it goes and keeps about their own manner.
I'll go to one of those, be like, I think one of these might suit me a little better.
Sure. It'll be 75 for the one on the end, and if you're willing to take the chance on it, it's only 60 for him.
I choose this one.
All right.
Guess I'm just gonna like
A tr-
yippee and be all excited and fly around your head.
True beginning to a Pokemon story right here.
Yeah.
I choose this one.
The gold is taken from both of you, and you both have a riding horse.
Are
Is
you
it already
able
saddled?
to continue to stable it until we leave?
Sure. I'd be able to hold it for up to 48 hours, so then after that we'd have to start charging for the rental space.
It's fine. I think we plan to leave either tomorrow or the day after, so that suits us just fine.
Excellent.
Oh, what about Bryn here?
Oh, we could stable your odd colored axe beak. Where did you get Where did you find this?
Just-
Sort of
I
looks
read
it
it.
up and down. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, no, we'd be able to do that. It'd be a silver a night to house it here.
Fine.
I love your bird so much, dude. Like,
Julian,
all I
what are we
can
getting
all I can
the
imagine is the deep gray V, just like one of those shirts that just like kind of cuts out.
Yeah.
Just yeah, dude, I love it. It's the best imagery.
Julian, what we gonna name the horse? The horse doesn't have a name.
Trouble. And then the other one, dinner.
Swifty.
Dinner.
Yeah.
Emergency ration.
Inevitable.
No
Lunch.
name. No name yet.
Dinner.
Do people usually name things?
Well, you got a name, Kenji. You could have just been a
But-
doll.
Yeah, but like pets or
What's
beasts
the
of
name of your
burden?
horse, Aiden?
Bren. I already told you. It's Brent's gin.
I said Aiden, not Barnex. I heard you.
I'm not sure. I'll have to think on it.
Excellent.
I'll have to think on it.
That's a
He's
long-
literally Googling names right now. He's got a list pulled up. Is
Oh
that
wait,
what you're doing?
the smoke into the horse thing, fucking awesome. I love that.
Is it
you
still
got- you got
skittish
the-
if I try to pet it?
You got the ranky one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems
Okay, either way, getting that horse is gonna be awesome.
it seems to when Killian is there and making a conscious effort to keep it calm, to allow people to interact with it. But if more than one person other than Killian comes up at a time, it immediately starts to like panic a bit and start to get aggressive.
What's it
Um,
do when I walk Bren in front of it?
Bren, it sort of fully takes as a little bit of a I don't know if hostile is the right word, but at least like a another sort of predator almost, and sort of gets skittish around and attempts to like frighten off Bren. Bren, who fully is just sort of sitting there like unfazed by this
Vibing.
horse.
Well, yeah, I could just see his eyes roll. Just
Yeah,
this ever so slight. Please.
yeah. But the horse definitely seems to see Bren as almost a potential threat, and is a lot more like, okay, you need to not be near me right now, and gets a little agitated with it.
Okay. Well,
Your
just walking me to another stable.
axe beak seems like it's from Mean Girls. Like,
Yeah.
look at this one over here.
Julian, can I ride with you,
Ollie.
or do I have to get my own horse?
I wish I had mental telepathy with it, because it'd be like, because here's what I'm envisioning it saying to me. You know, when this one comes up lame, that's going to be a really good snack.
Yes.
Fucking
axe beak
brutal.
is your axe beak's a sassy bitch.
Just
I love
just
it.
gonna, you know, trot along behind it. Just nip a beak at it every once in a while.
I'll turn to Cassandra after her question about if she can ride, and it'll just say one step at a time.
I think it should be fine if you're.
We'll just be riding along.
Are you small right now?
Axe beetle snap.
Yeah, I've stayed small.
So if you're
Killian's
tiny
gonna get
right now,
unhorsed.
then I'd say it should be fine if you're in your current
Oh, this is
state. I
gonna
don't
be
know if
fun.
it would support us as much otherwise.
Okay. To make sure we have like a cute little saddlebag.
Did you just
for
call her
Desna
fat?
to be in?
I just think you just called
Oh
her
no!
way too much.
Oh boy!
In your current state, I don't know that it would support both of us.
That is not what he said. Why are you trying to cause problems in my marriage? Like, what are you doing right now? Are you kidding me?
Where the
You
entire
are
group,
supposed to support my marriage with my husband.
Yo, you're not married in
This
this.
is D&D.
Yeah,
That's
this is
totally
role-playing.
separate.
Yo, we're all on that P90X grind right now, dude. We're trying to all lose weight.
Oh,
Just
my
Snooki
God.
about them stores, them shops, yeah.
We gotta make sure we have a cute bag for Desna to go in, so she's safe.
Oh.
As
Oh yeah, I
you,
forgot. You got to add the cat in there too.
That cat's not gonna. That's not any kind of.
As you figure out the situation with the horses and you've got them stabled, at least for the night, you have the rest of the city in front of you, specifically, I assume, the Pentamarket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one quick
Can
side
you-
note. Did you see what I put in chat,
Yes.
Looky?
Can
So that
you?
Brandon understands that Kenji is
Kinji is not food.
that and protect him
Mhm.
as if he was me. Okay. I won't let
Can
Kenji know that.
you type out the other names of the shops that you had listed in notes for me? Poor Fable. I'm sure Michael wrote them down, but
Poor baby.
wow. If you don't mind, Caleb. That's HC chat. We have a whole notes section.
We have a,
Yeah, important notes. It's below HC chat.
I'm just saying.
the
We don't ever use
one
it.
that has never been used.
I would like to use it, please. Can we
'Cause
It
it
please
was
was
use
used
it?
the
in
memes in it.
2020 and 2022 once.
0731. Yes. Oh, last
it?
year. Oh, wow. Oh, is
Over
that
a year
before or
now.
after we moonbeamed the people and then TPK'd?
Before.
Ah, yes. Good times then when we didn't incur the wrath of vampires. I miss those days. Wonder what actually happened.
You missed those TPK days.
Yeah, I missed the lead up to not TPK.
All right.
I got to tell that story to my programmer for our software because we're at this conference last week. Sorry, side story. We're at this conference last week, and Thursday night he said, "Yeah, I've got to get back to my room. I've got a game." And I said, "What are you playing?" He goes, "Oh, it's my D&D session."
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how it goes. And they're doing Lestat, or not Lestat. What's the vampire one?
Strahd.
Versus Jaw.
Yeah. He said, I think we're fighting him for the first time in this campaign. So,
Ah, yes. Just super casually, I think we're just fighting Strahd.
Yeah. With that, you all make your way to the Pentamarket. Let me grab.
Thank you.
Pentamarket.
I love shopping episodes.
Yo, true.
We haven't got to.
I like it better
Um,
when I'm not dirt poor.
The Pentamarket, as you make your way in that general direction, the streets naturally carve a pentagon shape, with the interior being a lot of merchant businesses. There's a kind of bizarre setup in the center of the district where carts, tents, and buildings are set up all day, every day as an open market. You hear more of the barkers calling out for their wares. The Pentamarket, as you enter into, the shops here vary dramatically. You pass a small dumpling establishment, a place that sells glassware, another sort of the blacksmithing shop on one end. There's stands full of wines that are being sold from nearby vineyards. People who have sewn together elaborate outfits that are trying to sell dresses and hats and accessories on the side of the street. And there are a couple of different sections where you see that there are probably some less than meaning individuals that are currently setting up these small little things where they lay everything out on the ground and You watch as a dwarven woman actually steps on the corner of one of their, laid out things, and immediately the person stands up and starts accosting the person as like, oh, you stepped on it, you gotta buy it, you've ruined the thing, I can't sell this anymore, this has to be purchased. Trying to basically like pressure them to doing that sort of a thing in the midst of the chaos of this section of the city. Where would you like to go?
Killian said he wanted weapons, so to the smithing. I'll just walk up that way, and then I believe Barnex wants to go somewhere different, but
You
we can
make
hit 'em
your
all up,
way-
right?
or okay, we can go on.
You make your way to Spark Hammer Smithing. As you head inside, there is a large floor space that is set up with these sort of in-ground furnaces where they the walk areas around are ground level, and the furnaces are sort of built into the stone foundation of the building, where the sort of intense concentrated heat is happening, and there are a number of different things poked into the fire going at once. You see there is a halfling that is sort of like a deeply tanned skin, short black hair, pretty muscular build, with leather apron and leather gloves, and you see that the gloves on the back have these sort of runes encrusting on it, and they stick their hand straight into the hole where these things are grasped down, and the hand is wrapped around a piece of the metal that is currently glowing. But with these gloves, they seem to not seem to feel it at all as they start hammering away. While they're working, in the back, a different halfling, probably half their age, same dark tan skin, same black hair, but it is a little bit longer, not by much, and what looks to be just the beginnings of peach fuzz across the face. Sort of walks up to you all and says, good afternoon. Is there anything that we could assist you all with today?
Looking at your inventory for any new weapons.
Sure. We've got a wide assortment of baseline items, things like extra javelins, extra arrows, extra long swords, daggers, that sort of a thing. Otherwise, we've got the set over there, and he gestures off to a corner where you can see there is a on a display case are like a fancy looking axe, a fancy looking greatsword, like sets of very pristine looking daggers hanging along the wall. Those are our arcane weaponry. Most of them are just sort of a standard bolstering of effects, though we do have a couple of specialized items if you're interested. He sort of gestures over to what looks like a hand axe that has a weird curve to the blade, and he says, this is actually a prototype we've been working on. It is meant as a throwing axe, but it has the ability to sort of change direction mid-air, which is proven to be useful. We still are doing some field testing on it, but that one is up there for sale. And you see next to it there's a mannequin that looks like it is made of very fine leather that is dyed to be black, with these sort of oddly silvery translucent metal studs in it, where that almost like shift the light as it hits, causing, so like as the light hits these metal studs, it sort of disperses outward, and it causes this weird effect across the chest plate. So if you're interested in the either the hand axe or the armor, I can always show those to you. Just let me know what sparks your interest.
You have anything of the bludgeoning variety, and I'll show them my maul and see if there's anything that they have that's similar.
With the maul, they go over and they show like some war hammers and another maul that looks to be just like a standard +1. They are quite expensive in their labeling. I don't know how much you're carrying on person right now, but
Not very much.
the maul. Where'd it go? Maul. For the +1 maul, they are selling that for 300 gold.
Okay. I'm going to have to pass then.
How much gold?
300.
Okay.
If there's anything else you may be looking for, I don't know if anyone else has needs that they may want. I'd be happy to point those out, but
What kind of armor did you say the special one looked like?
it looks like studded leather.
What can you tell me about that?
Sure. He walks you over to it and says, "This is the what we're currently referring to as the Shadow-worn studded leather. It is a specialized thing that we've been working on, seeing if we can get it to work a little bit better. It helps with being unseen and very temporarily and in the right conditions, it can allow you to become literally unseen. It has a slight illusory property to it that can assist with that sort of a thing. Basically what it does is it is studded leather, so it doesn't have any pluses to the AC. However, while attuned to the armor, you have advantage on stealth checks. In addition, when you are in dim light or darkness, you can use an action to turn yourself invisible. This invisibility lasts for 10 minutes, but will end early if you attack, cast a spell, or are illuminated in such a way that you are no longer in dim light or darkness. Once you use it, you cannot use it again until you finish a long rest.
I'm not sure that I have any need for that. That item seems a little risky to just be selling to people. I don't know, it seems like its properties are
They're
for
a
the
bit
unsavory type.
they're a bit out there, but I will have you know, we did get this commission by the state. This is a sanctioned piece. This is actually more of a prototype. The real piece was commissioned by some of the guard. They've got the guard. Kind of pause for a minute as he's picking his words. He says, technically, it's been being looked at after the Righteous Brand. They want updated pieces of arms and armor that they could outfit their soldiers with, especially as the threat of the war sort of looms over us with every passing day. We're working out the kinks, but we've decided to go ahead and sell the prototype while it's here, and keep working on the more advanced versions for the Righteous brand to use once it's done. So I do assure you, it is all above board. Though I can see your points potentially as being a problem potentially. Well, if sort of looks over towards you, Killimatches, I don't know if you actually, Killian, I don't know if you're only looking for sort of bludgeoning objects, but the hand axe is quite useful. If you're interested in testing some things, we could even mark off a little bit of the price if you're willing to give a bit of a field test and come back with some notes on it. We're not quite certain how well it will work, as we don't have a means of easily testing these things out. It's super dangerous to test them out in regular day-to-day. If you're willing to give us some feedback, we'd be happy to mark off some gold.
So you want me to take it and try it out?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Huh?
Not for free, obviously, but for a discounted rate. If you come back with some ideas, some critiques, some sort of give us an idea of how well it works. We have general field test studies, but we don't have any good solid feedback of someone who uses it often to really get a good idea of if it's functioning as intended.
What are they wanting him to use? What are they?
It is a hand axe. If you'd like to look it up, it is the honing hand axe. Basically, what this does. If I find it again. The honing hand axe. It is a weapon that does an extra d6 of damage when it's thrown. So normal hand axe is a d6. If you throw it, it does 2d6 instead of 1. If you I need to edit the wording on this because I've changed it too many times that the words are wrong. But if you miss with the hand axe, you can use your reaction to cause it to change to a new target within 10 feet of your original target, and basically roll to attack that person instead. As the sort of like the curve in the blade, it's a weird sort of almost boomerang-esque hand axe. The idea being, it does a shit ton of damage if it lands, or it does way more damage on hit. But also if it ends up missing, you're able to cause it to curve and hit someone else.
Now, when I throw it, it stays where I throw it, right?
Yes.
How much for the hand axe?
We're hoping to sell it for $125 when it's completed, but seeing as it's a prototype, that's been marked down a little bit, and if you're willing to help, we'd be happy to sell it for about 80 gold.
Tempting. For a field test for 80 gold.
I'm envisioning, Mel Gibson in The Patriot when he's throwing the tomahawk and then he starts shooting. That's
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing with this. Then you run in with the big stick.
Here's the thing, when are we coming back to Zadash? I was gonna say, I'm gonna go test it and just peace out.
He never gave you a timeline.
Oh,
So,
boy.
This is true.
if you want to fuck off and come back in a year and be like, hey, by the way, this sucks, then
This sucks.
Want my
I've
money,
used it
yeah.
religiously for the past year, but I just want
Does
to
anyone else have any interest in this weapon?
No.
Do
Do they have any magical gauntlets or boots? Or...
they do not seem to. So, right now, the biggest stuff, and most of this is stupid expensive for your current budget. They do have, as you look around, it sort of looks like they have a going deal with the Righteous Brand, as a lot of their armor has Righteous Brand stuff like seared into it and set off to the side to be shipped. And as you kind of ask about other stuff, he does sort of speak up and say, unfortunately, a lot of our stock has been purchased for the purposes of serving a potential war. They're arming up, as it were.
How much is their plate?
For
Standard.
plate?
Is it standard 1500?
Yes.
All right. Pass.
With taking a melee weapon like this and throwing it for the attack rolls, how's that function?
So it has the same stats as a regular hand axe, which hand axes have the thrown property for 2060. So if it's within 20 feet, it's a normal. If it's anywhere from 25 to 60 feet, it is disadvantage.
And it can use your strength block.
Yes.
It's tempting, but I'm going to pass because of the range that I have with my javelins over that.
Looks a little disappointed, but says we fully understand. If you know anyone that may make use of it in the future, just send them our way. We'd be happy to see about getting them getting this in their hands and getting their thoughts and opinions on it.
Thank you.
Of course.
Then I'm done here.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right.
Same.
We're gonna go. Which was the shop you wanted to go to?
Servo Secrets.
Servos.
Suvo.
We don't really care. We just
You-
want secrets.
I'm
Not just kidding.
Subo's secret is that he's a servo.
Yeah.
He's another Doty. Doty.
Oh, can we buy a dope?
Suvo. 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 Suvo.
Oh boy.
you.
Are gonna die.
Yeah. A meteor.
You make your way
crashes.
over to Suvo's Secrets. The exterior of the place looks a little shaky. It is fully just a tent, and immediately it feels unwelcoming. It is made out of the tent itself is made out of a very drab and coarse material. The ropes that are keeping it up seem to be incredibly old. They are fraying, they are tattering, they're rotten in some places. And as you enter in search of the secrets, the interior space is only a good 20 square feet, if that. And there's a couple of tables on the far end. Those tables in the far end that are supposed to have everything, completely barren. Instead, there is a older looking dragonborn. What would be a very tall dragonborn is hunched over with age. She looks to be bronze in scales, but there's like a turning green as sort of almost like an oxidization is happening with the metal in her scales. She is sitting on a rocking chair that is a normal size, but due to her sort of massive stature, she's sort of dwarfing it a little bit, making it seem much smaller. And she's sort of slowly rocking there as you walk in, and says, welcome, welcome. How may I help you?
I'll greet her in Draconic.
And a good day to you as well. Sort of squints forward at you, shoves up these incredibly small glasses that are so far down her snout, there's no way that they are helping, but she's like adjusts them as if they are. What sort of things may I be able to offer you today?
What do you offer in the shop as far as wares?
She grabs this sack that is next to her and says, "You'll have to forgive me with this recent string of break-ins. I've been as cautious as possible." And she reaches in and starts putting things out on this little table where she has like tea set up, but she moves the tea away and starts setting things out. The first thing she sets out are what looks to be a singular D6. She places down. She reaches in and pulls out a musty, raggedy-looking, almost like a witch's hat, and puts it down next to the die. Reaches back in, pulls out a long, thin needle that looks to be filled with a silvery ink, and she puts down. Pulls out just a singular, crappy, brass-looking key, puts that down, and then takes out the two things that look actually kind of interesting. One is a crystal shard about that big, probably a good 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches. That is a deep verdant green with a glowing yellow core to it that she puts down. And then the second is a beautiful necklace of like this dark black metal that reaches down and holds this purplish black gemstone that she lays down next to the rest of the stuff. She says, anything here? I'd be happy to explain what they are, some of their properties, and of course, tell you what I'm currently charging for them.
What are the last 2 items?
She taps the sort of gemstone and says, this is a Feywild shard, and this one, she points to the amulet, is a dark shard amulet. Both have some fairly potent magical abilities. Are you interested in hearing what they do? And if so, which one?
Feywild shard.
Sure. She picks that one up and explains to you vaguely what it does. But basically, this is an item that needs to be attuned by a sorcerer. And when you use a metamagic option on a spell, you can roll on the wild magic table as if you are a wild magic sorcerer. If the result is a spell, it is also that spell is also affected by your meta magic. And if it normally requires concentration, it does not require concentration and lasts for the full duration.
Interesting. That sounds super chaotic and fun.
A little wild, as is the magic of the Fae. And she sort of moves over to the amulet and says, this is a Dark Shard amulet, and explains that it is used for warlocks specifically. It is a spell casting focus for warlocks, and you are able to attempt to cast a cantrip that you do not know, as long as it is on the warlock spell list. And you have to make a Arcana check in order to make that attempt. If you succeed, you cast the spell, and if the check fails, the spell fails as well, and the action used to cast the spell is wasted. It only works once per long rest, but if there's a cantrip that you don't have on the Warlock spell list, you can attempt to cast it as an action.
What about the rest of the stuff?
Sure. This is a charlatan die. You can, when you roll it, you can mentally make it land on whatever face that you want it to. The hat is she picks up the hat and sort of turns it over, reaches in and pulls out a rat that is like scampering in her hand and trying to like claw out of it. And she just sort of holds the rat out. And the moment that she puts it down, it scampers and tries to run off. It's able to pull out small creatures like that. Only able to do about 3 small animals a day, but if you're able to make use of it, I'm sure it's something. The key is a bit of an interesting one. Allegedly, it works once, but when you attempt to use it on a lock, it has a small chance of magically reshaping and fitting the lock perfectly, no matter what lock it is. And then the taps the thin needle and says, it would be an arcane tattoo. You're able to apply it to yourself, and this one, I believe, is a masquerade. It allows you to change your physical appearance at will. Well, not at will, but close to.
The key sounds
So
really.
these-
The key and the tattoo thing sound really
Yeah.
interesting.
The masquerade tattoo requires attunement, and as an action, you can cast disguise self on yourself once per day as a free spell. The key is called the mysterious key or mystery key in D20. It has a 5% chance of unlocking any lock that it is inserted to. The moment that it does, it is now locked into that form and is useless on any other lock.
Oh.
But it doesn't disappear, right? It just doesn't work if it rolls bad.
It is supposed to disappear. For this, it stays that way.
God bless.
It can be used for that forever.
Oh no,
So-
but if it doesn't
Yeah,
fit the key, it doesn't disappear, correct? It just doesn't
No,
work on that
yeah.
lock.
So what you would do is you'd roll a d20, and on a natural 20, because that's 1 in 5,
Mhm.
it would automatically like sort of reshape into that to perfectly fit that lock, and it will be there forever. If you roll anything other than a nat 20, it does nothing, and you can keep trying until it works.
Beautiful.
How much is the arcane tattoo?
The tattoo will run 75 gold. You keep in mind, at least for the tattoo, this is magical. It can only be on one person at a time, but should you decide that you wish to no longer have it, you can simply place the needle on your arm where the tattoo is currently, or on your body wherever you have the tattoo, and the ink will go right back into the needle, and it can be given to someone else. So it is a continuous thing, something that you can share and pass around.
Ugh. They always told me never to share needles in college and high school, and here we are.
Really, I share needles all the time, and I don't have any issues.
Oh, boy.
What?
How much is the charlatan's die?
The charlatan's die will run 35 gold.
I think I want the tattoo.
Alright, that is 75 gold.
Does anybody else want the tattoo before I take it? How much is the Feywild shard?
That is 250.
Oh,
It's a lot. But it's also a free wild magic surge once a day.
Fun.
It's is it once a day or is it every time you use sorcery points?
It's when you use a meta magic option.
Feywild Shard.
It's not. It's only for a sorcerer, though, right?
Yeah.
Not only for me.
So it is technically both. If you do not have the wild magic sorcerer option or origin, once you use the property to roll on the wild magic table, it cannot be used again until the next dawn. So if you are a wild magic sorcerer, you can do it all the goddamn time, which is crazy.
Time to switch.
How does that work with my Cosmic Soul stuff? Does it trigger with my Cosmic Soul spells?
Yeah, so if you're not a wild magic sorcerer, it still works. It's just you can only do it once a day as opposed to
Oh,
wild
so
magic.
it's any spell I cast no matter what.
As long as let me double check.
You're applying meta magic.
Yeah, as long as you use meta magic on it.
What's my meta magic?
It's like twin spell.
Oh, okay. Got it. I understand. Got it. Okay. I was not understanding. Now I do.
How much is the key?
The key is 40 gold. Which is either very useful, depending on the lock you put it into, or complete garbage if you just put it into a shitty lock and now it's useless forever. So I would caution that if you're going to use it on something that you would want the key for, but fuck it, it's your money.
I love this woman.
Sorry, I'm spoken for.
Do you buy magic items?
I have been known to do that in the past. It's actually how I got this, as she gestures to the Dark Shard amulet. If there's anything that you have, I'd be happy to take a look.
How much would a blue chromatic rose sell for? I'm not gonna take that out. I'm just gonna ask her.
Let me double check.
It's rare, so I kind of want to keep it though, because blue roses are my favorite. They're my wedding flowers.
She looks at it and says, "That's a very good find. I'd be happy to take it off your hands for a couple hundred." Or if you're in the field of trading, I'd be more than happy to take that off your hands and in exchange for the shard, potentially.
The chromatic rose is one time only, right? If I'm reading it properly. Once I use it, it disintegrates.
Then yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Does it disintegrate if I use it as the attacky one too? Yes, it does, because it says using this property destroys the rose.
Yeah.
And the shard doesn't get it just is a 1 day. Then yeah,
It's a once a day wild magic.
I will trade her the rose for the shard, and then I'll pay her 60 gold for the tattoo if nobody is opposed.
Tattoos. Yeah. So she
That's what you said, right? Was it
75.
tattoo 75.
okay? Sorry.
So she hands you the needle and the shard. She takes the rose and she just sort of looks it over for a long moment, a little mesmerized by it. And when you put the 70 gold down, it sort of snaps. 75 gold down, it sort of snaps her out of it. She takes that too. And she puts the rose very gently on the top of her bag and puts the gold away.
So I put a Feywild shard.
Feywild shard and a masquerade tattoo. Trigon's done with the shop. Is there anything Aiden or Killian would be interested in?
I think I'm all right.
I would like to haggle for the charlatan's die.
For which one?
The charlatan's die.
What are you what are you offering?
30 gold.
Sort of scratches her chin a bit and says, well, I mean, part of the price is the idea of how much you'll make. I suppose it's been sitting here for a while. Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
I like that you said the roll of persuasion check in your voice.
To seal the deal, I'm going to use knowledge from a past life again.
Okay.
I'm just marking it off. So I'm going to have a glimpse of a memory in the past, from a past life of this changeling bard that I can see talking to somebody behind a counter and sweet talking them into a deal. And I'm going to just try to, envision that and kind of like harness that memory. You don't really want your shop to be known for having cheating dice, do you? And I'll try to kind of use that as a persuasion to add add that extra dice. That's like kind of like the whole conversation part of it that I'm adding into it. So 24.
You mentioned that, and she sort of looks you over and says, my clientele is full of individuals who would be excited at the knowledge that I carry things that allow them to cheat and steal, but I get your point, it's been sitting here for a while. 30 gold is fine.
Deal.
You just clean this lady out.
Alright, so that was the charlatan dice down as well. That is gold. That's great. Tattoo and paywall shard.
And does this take one of my 3 attunement slots? The tattoo? Because it
does.
doesn't. How would I see that? Because
So this requires attunement.
I know that it says that, Michael.
Yeah, so when you go to your character, it should in your inventory. Let me look up.
If you check
I got it. I found it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I have to attune to the Feywild shard too.
Yeah.
All my attunement slots are taken up. How long does it take to do the tattoo? It doesn't say on here.
Attunement is an hour. It's a short rest.
Yeah. So over the course of that hour will be when you got your tattoo applied.
Where's that? Where is that? Just so I can see.
Masquerade tattoo.
Yeah. In the inventory section, if you do
Yeah.
manage inventory, you can look it up, and if you add something that requires attunement, you have to click on it to say that it is something that you are you have active, and then at the very bottom of the inventory page is the attunement field where you can select what you are attuned to.
Are you talking about in Forge or on
In
D&D?
Beyond.
Okay,
It's
okay.
in Beyond.
Yeah.
Never mind. I know where to find it there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, I thought it was in the Forge, but that's fine.
Uh-huh. I like the tattoos a lot. Can you have more than one tattoo? You could have 3 tattoos then. If they all
Depends on the tattoo rarity. Technically, different tattoo rarities take different amounts of space on your body.
Okay.
It talks about it in the tattoo somewhere. Like the really rare ones take almost your entire body.
Okay.
Anyway,
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Then I get to make this look like whatever I want it to be.
I would use the
I'm not gonna
the
do it
name.
self-dramatic.
Yeah, I would use the name to sort of inspire the look, but beyond that, yeah, whatever you want. All right. So with Suvo and her secrets laid bare,
Grace of the Wilds. We're saving best for last.
On the way to the next door, I want to pull Cassandra aside, like as we're walking. You know, not like secretive, just to converse.
Go ahead.
When I was in that shop, a name came to my mind while I was haggling with the store owner. Eodin. Is that a good name for a horse?
Yes. I'm not laughing in character.
Yo.
You kind of missed it earlier. I don't know if you actually heard any of it, but basically, I used knowledge from a past life to pull a memory of your old character haggling a shop owner to make a persuasion.
That was so good.
That's pretty freaking awesome, dude.
No, I did. No, I think that sounds like a great horse name. I like it a lot. I like it.
And there wasn't a better haggler, was there?
Oh boy.
All right,
Oh.
it's named Eodin.
somewhere in the
That's
back
love
of
it.
your head,
funny.
somewhere in the back of your head, you feel like it would be probably a better name for a for like a donkey than a horse, but it's what
Oh,
I was-
damn it!
Snoogie, I was keeping quiet. You and I had the same wavelength.
Damn
Jesus
it!
Christ.
y'all make your way
Wow.
to,
Sheesh.
Grace of the
Ouch.
Wilds.
Ouch. Fucking daggers, man.
The Grace of the Wilds is a far less nasty of a place as you make your way in. There is a probably mid 50s human woman behind the counter, wild black curly hair, very energetic energy, a little manic, bordering on manic. As you make your way inside, she sort of the interior is half shop front, half greenhouse, as the back half of the place has these massive green stained glass dome that has all manner of plant and foliage and fungus and other material components for potions and salves and things. As the door opens, she sort of whips around and goes, so how can I help you? I'll be hold on. I'll be there in give me 3 minutes and 42 seconds. I'll be right there. And she's like mid work. And
Oh boy.
as the time passes, it goes for a full like 5 or 6 minutes before she actually rounds the corner. Because I'm so sorry. What sort of ailments or issues are we having today that I could fix up for you?
Do we
Well,
look ill?
Well, that's normally what I deal with. I've got other things. Are you wanting to let's see. Sort of grumbles through some stuff. She's got a glass counter, almost like a bakery counter, that has these little glass bottles behind it, and they're labeled, but the labels are in a really sloppy handwriting. It takes you a minute to sort of make them out. But she has healing potions, greater healing potions. She has 2 potions labeled Potion of Growth. She has 3 that are labeled as Potions of Water Breathing. And then she has a massive stock of Potions of Poison Resistance for some reason.
How much are the potions of healing and the graders?
The regular ones will run you about 50 gold each, and then the greater will be 150.
I'll just lean against the door frame, crack open my flask of coffee, and take a swig.
All right, I think that one's done with conversation. What about the other four of you? Or three of you? Or four of you? She sort of squints at you, can she? Because leans in very close to you. Goes, are you real?
The eye will look kind of like it's like moving, like my familiar, and it will just open up to teeth.
Oh. An ugly one. Alright. She leans back.
That's hurtful. I will also write that one on the inside of my head. There are a list of people that will soon die. That guard and this woman is part of them.
She looks over at the other three of you. Potions of healing? Want to grow big and strong? Or breathe underwater?
Why do you have so many of the potions of poison resistance?
Sorry. Stocked a lot of those for the random acts that have been going on. Just sort of a preparatory thing. I thought they would sell better, but I guess not a lot of the people in the Tri-Spires make their way all the way down here for this. I might need to reconsider how I'm marketing. I haven't been there in 13 years?
Oh boy.
You said due to the axe. I thought it was just break-ins. Is there poison involved?
Yes and no. Most of them have been regular break-ins, things being stolen from storefronts and from personal lodgings and things like that. But ever so often, someone happens to catch the person mid theft, and it normally doesn't end well, as you would expect. Finding the thief mid-stealing in your home and capturing the thief are two very different things, and not everyone's prepared, but I will be. She sort of taps the glass above the potions as if it's meaningful in some way.
Seems a little excessive.
Can never be too careful. Some nasty poisons out there. You have no idea. Would you like one of those?
Do you have some sort of discount on them? I mean, there's no way you're gonna sell all of those.
Pauses for a minute to contemplate. Well, I was sort of planning on more demand for the supply, but I guess I've sort of... I should maybe tell people that I've made them, and then they'll know to come and buy them.
Oh boy.
That might work.
Renewed marketing vigor.
I could let them go for cheaper, I suppose. How much are you thinking?
I don't.
The little tab in front has them labeled as 100 gold each, for your knowledge. But she also looks like she has probably 30 of them lined up, and the ones in the very, very front, the ones that she placed first, are starting to collect a little bit of dust.
Hey, for all she words, babe.
This woman.
I don't really have a need for one, but
Well,
if you let me take one, then I can tell everyone that I got it here.
that would help with getting the word out. Roll a persuasion. Please.
He didn't break character on that. That's awesome.
He didn't last time either. I love it.
That's a 4.
Hmm.
It is a 5 on the die, so that is still 1 higher again.
How about I can give you these. And she reaches behind the counter and hands you a bunch of will look to be empty potion bottles. And she says, if you go around acting like you really needed all of these, then people will still think, oh, these are useful and helpful, but it's like you've used a bunch of them, and so when they come, they'll know that they need to buy more than one. Eh?
Or that they don't work because he's used so many.
Well, he's alive, isn't he?
What
so
if I
clearly
say?
they worked.
What
But he's
if?
not
What if I were to
poison.
tell them? And it was only 150 gold. Well worth the price of my life.
Are you saying I can mark him up to 150? That would increase the amount of money I would make on them by 50%.
If you got 2 people to come in,
0,
you would break even.
0.
still 0. Math isn't making sense to me.
Girl math.
I'm gonna keep him at 100, because that doesn't make sense. Sort of scratches the side of her head a little bit.
How
Girl
have you
math.
how have you stayed in business?
Well, there's that one fella that comes by every so often. He buys out he doesn't buy potions, he buys ingredients, but he keeps me afloat pretty well. Then there's
Detect thoughts.
you cast Detect Thoughts, and you hear static
Oh,
for a moment. And then
Because she wrote.
Her- as she sort of, her eyes sort of flick back up, there's the moment of, oh, customers. And she goes, oh, how can I, what can I get for you? There's almost like a reset that happens.
Is she? Has something happened to her?
Goldfish.
Can I?
Make an insight check.
Yeah.
He is she's a 10-second Tommy.
No.
Hi, I'm Tommy. How are you?
So you were saying that you were
Insight?
gonna
That's
give
a
him
19
this
plus
potion?
1 for dirty 20.
You, with Detect Thoughts on, you can tell that you are not the first person to have poked around in this person's brain.
Yeah. It seems
There is
like
the obvious marks that someone else has also poked and prodded, but they were not very gentle when they were doing it. You don't know exactly what they did or why, but someone did something here.
Roll double 8.
I want to test this. I want to test the limits of her memory and see when she resets. And I
Sure.
will talk to her and I will ask her about the 2 customers that usually come in again. And see
Well, like I mentioned, there was that dwarf that comes in, and as she says that, there's a quick image that flashes across your mind of this, probably, comparative to human years, probably like a 60s or 70s looking dwarf, long gray beard that seems to have like elements of foliage growing in it as well, and just sort of a very natural air about the guy, who always comes in, always buys like rare mushrooms and sort of supplies. Make a nature check for me.
Husband.
19. It's 14
19?
plus 5.
A lot of the materials that he's purchasing whenever he comes in are things that are typically used for potions that can heal, so like healing droughts, but they also exist for like potions that are make it possible to make things like potion of sleep or other sort of enchantment based spells.
Okay.
and then she starts to go to another person, to this second customer, and as it does, you feel her mind begin, the forefront of her mind begin to slip back into that static. If there is knowledge here of something, it is not something that she's capable of pulling to the forefront of her mind. You'll have to dig deeper.
I'm just gonna need you to stay calm for a second. Can I take out my Can I take out my friend and help give advantage?
This is so. If you want to dig deeper, it is a saving throw, and this would not be. So it'd have to be like her rolling. But if you'd like to, you can try.
Can I give her like disadvantage on a throw by using my familiar?
Because that is a dangerous precedent. So no.
Unfortunate.
I love you. I see what you're doing, and I vote no. Shall not be doing that. I
Would
see
you
your
like
plan.
to
Okay. Lady Brittany
What?
coming in with the. What is the saving throw?
I
got
believe it is
distracted.
a wisdom save against your spell save DC.
Yeah, don't be smart in 16, or don't be wise. in
It's
16.
16.
I'm diving deep.
Say 13 total.
Okay.
She there's a brief moment where that static starts to take over, and you can tell that she's trying to draw a memory forward but isn't able to do so. So you pierce into her psyche. And as you do, there is a brief flash of this memory of a night from years ago, and it is not something that is it's not something that was very long how do I word this in a way that makes the most sense? When this person was here the last time, it was not very long ago, but it seems like this person has been stopping by a lot for the last probably like 3 to 5 years. As you dig deeper,
Just give me everything. Just let me become her.
what you see is a image of a human man, younger, maybe late 20s, short black hair, 5 o'clock shadow, very much a roguish sort, but you see the first night that they had come in, he hadn't come in alone. Alongside him was a feline that looks almost like a where was it? That looks a lot like a a panther, like a dark brown, black fur, yellow eyes, and you hear the two of them having this conversation with this woman. The panther-like tabaxi woman has a very cooing voice, and in the process of this conversation, there's a brief flash from this from the hands of this tabaxi who had somehow managed to cast this spell without being detected, and as it does, there's just a searing pain across her mind. As it focuses back, there's that brief moment where something happens and you're not able to see due to all the pain in her memory. As she focuses back, the tabaxi woman is gone, and it is just this young man again, and you feel a shift almost where she can see him and she recognizes him and she sees him as a friend, like a very friendly, familiar face. But the moment that the conversation seems super normal, he buys a bunch of stuff off of her, which, thanks to your nature check, I'm gonna go ahead and say all of it is things that you would buy for poisons, if you were trying to make a incredibly potent poison. And the moment he walks out of the door, that memory is completely wiped clean from her memory. When he walks in, the forefront of her mind is able to remember him and sees him as a kind person, someone that she's friends with and gets along with really well. But every time that he's not in the room, her mind cannot perceive or understand him.
I was gonna ask if he re-ups this thing that happened, but it seems like it just does it automatically.
It does. Yeah, it seems that whatever the spell that was cast on her, it has had a permanent effect on her mind.
Interesting. And she makes money off of him, obviously, right? He buys things with money, or
Yeah, it definitely looked like there was an exchanging of coin. And you're not entirely sure how that works if if he's such a good friend after the spell, why is he not just taking it?
Mhm.
But for whatever reason, there seems to be a purpose behind keeping her paid.
Okay.
Well, because then she wouldn't ask questions. She won't think she's been stolen from or anything like that. Right. Before... Oh no, we're not done. Sorry.
Okay. Very interesting. If I describe the man and how he looks, would she know his name?
You start to describe him, and as you still have that up, she seems to get a relatively close image of him in her head, and she just sort of stares blankly forward and says, I don't think I've seen anyone that looks quite like him before. Why? Is a friend of yours you're looking for?
Yeah. We haven't talked in some time.
Oh, well, if he's in any need of protecting himself from poisons, come on by. I've got a lot of them in stock, ready to sell. They'll sell any day.
Okay. I will relay that.
Is there anything else anyone would like to do here?
I don't think so.
All right.
Before we go to our med shop, can we take our break that we were supposed to take a half hour ago?
Yes. You all make your way heading towards the invulnerable vagrant. As you make your way to the exterior, you find that the place is surrounded with large boards that have been set up as almost a perimeter, and guards are surrounding the entire building. This place seems to have been forcefully closed down for the day, and we'll pick up with that after a quick 10-minute break.
See you in 10 minutes.
So, as you approach the invulnerable vagrant, the streets on its sides have been entirely blocked off, and there are guards posted outside, sending people away as it has been forcefully closed for the day. What would you like to do?
Need to break in.
I'll ask a guard what happened.
Or that.
You approach, and there's a guy that's very much off to the side and doesn't seem to be actively participating in anything, just sort of keeping a watch. So you're able to approach him without giving off an air of, you know, being rude or like imposing or anything like that. He goes, I suppose it doesn't matter too much since they've already got people running around hollering about it in the news. Place is shut down for the day. Supposedly some sort of curse or something. Alleged ritual, some bullshit. We're just keeping people out. Public safety, stuff like that. We got some people inside doing some more in-depth investigation. Nothing to worry about.
Okay.
The place should be open in a couple of days. You'll be able to come back for whatever shopping you got. Or, I guess, do you have an item or something? There's something
No.
waiting for you that I can go fetch?
No, I wanted to say hi to Kuma.
Oh, I think one of them is running around here. I can maybe go grab him, but I don't. I think they're all being questioned, sort of individually, about what's going on. You a friend of his or something?
I mean, kind of. I don't know. Listen, I just wanted to see. I came back to town and I wanted to see. It's fine.
I'll go poke my head here in a minute and we switch off. If one of them's open, what's your name? I can
Cassandra.
Stop by. Alright. Surname or just Cassandra? Would they know it?
I say no, it was just Cassandra.
It's up to you. How often is she here?
I don't
Why
know.
do they
He's
know
the
you or not?
only shopkeeper that I had put in my little here's people that I know. Like I opened up my thing. So like 4 here. I have the 3 sisters, and then I have people in the Olivier edition, and then I have him. And he's the only other one that I've got for Price
The
Fighter.
question is mostly how often do you think that you have made your way down here to go check out the magic stuff, or talk to someone else who can do magic?
I think she probably would have a lot because it's not that far to go. Like I don't think she would have realistically gone too much farther from here. Like I don't think she would have like explored the whole city, right? Because like safety and all that. But I think she probably would have wanted to here because he's very fantastical and she is also very different. Like there aren't any, you know what I mean?
Yeah, in that case, there is also the element, by the way, since he's a Furbolg and they are fey in nature, there would be a connection there, which is part of the reason why when making your stuff, the sisters probably would have sent you there because they would know.
Right.
And so
or like the sisters were making stuff and I was passing it down and stuff.
Yeah. So with that being said, the sisters know him, at least on some level. So with that, he would know. However you would have announced yourself, or however you would have talked to him before, you would know him well enough to where he would recognize that name.
then I'll just say Cassandra. To be.
All right. We're about to switch here in like 10, 15. So I'll ask around, see if one of them's open. Let them know you stopped by.
Okay.
With that, you guys have a quick 10 minutes if you want to discuss or chat about anything. Otherwise, he'll end up having that swap, and we'll see if anything comes of that.
Do we see anything on the outside of the store besides just the fact that it's like boarded off?
Great question. Make a perception or investigation, depending on which one you do. It'll be different information.
Okay.
Can I aid with that?
That's a natural 20 or a 27.
For one.
Perception.
Oh yeah. You take a moment. You do a quick scan around. As you're looking around, there's a couple things you do notice very quickly, and then something that takes you a minute. But first things you see, you haven't seen this place before, but Cassandra's been through all the time. So you're able to point things out and ask, has that always been like that? Is that normal? And she's able to sort of catch those as odd. The first is that there are what look to be traces of something in and around the door frame, as if some sort of residue or substance is sort of plastered around it almost. You'd need to get up and actually get within a couple of feet to kind of figure out what it is, but you spot it from a little bit ways away and ask, and you know, is that whatever that is normally there, and it's not. Another thing you notice very quickly is that same material, the outside of the building, there is sort of a semicircle rounded entrance in the front that has like this beautiful red brick that when it gets to the top, it turns into this sort of half tower that sticks out over the side of the alleyway. And along that sort of tower that juts out onto the side, the building itself is this massive amalgamation of strange add-ons, as if all of a sudden a new section was built on, and it sort of grew and grew into this strange and fantastical building. So there's like the main storefront that looks like all these other spots, but then there's that tower that's built out. There's some sort of like observatory-esque like domed ceiling in the back that's set off to the side. There's this elongated hall that sort of looks like it goes from one part of the building, wraps around like a staircase built into the side of the house, as it's just this along the exterior walls, this jut out of maybe 2 feet that just sort of scales up the side and goes to a section above that looks to be sort of like peeking through the windows with a perception check. It looks to be almost like a residency, like a bedroom or something like that. But you're able to, with that perception check, you're also able to see that same material looks like it is coming out of a chimney that is attached to that tower off to one end. The third thing takes a minute, but as you're looking around, there are these small creatures, almost. These they are incredibly uncommon, but they exist a lot and in large quantities in the Fae. These are I'm gonna have to take a quick second to listen to the pronunciation guide real quick.
How dare.
Because I can never pronounce these correctly. No. Which one is it? Oh, do they not have one? Oh, that's so rude. I'm gonna guess Chewinga. But I will post what they look like, and I will post the name as well.
Chewingas?
I can't tell if you're.
Yeah, no, no, it's pronounced
These-
Chewingas. Rob
Okay.
had them. Rob had them in his
Oh,
thing
he
that we
did,
played.
didn't he?
Yeah, the things that just like go around the like
You're so upset. Oh,
with the leaves.
Clever.
Yeah, dude.
God damn it. Alright, but they are these small spirits. And this is how it's spelled. They're these small spirits with these little masks. They seem a lot like a Korok, basically. These small spirits with these masks that they put on. And they come in different varieties. Different locations will have different appearances. There are some that look like their masks are made out of leaves for forested areas. There's some that have rock or stone masks. These have this weird alien look to the mask. Alien as in foreign for a fae. And when Aiden points this out, Cassandra, you're able to help to explain some of this. These are nature spirits. They're supposed to be these individuals that represent elements of the natural world of trees and stone and river and fire and all of these normal looking or normal and natural things that are occurring in the real world. This is not that. These have, instead of a stone or a mask of ice or a mask that of a leaf, the mask looks metallic, which is never one that you've seen before, and it looks as though it's wearing clothing beyond that. It's alien in that these small little beings that are crowded around the exterior of this building, for some reason they seem to have formed themselves of the city instead of nature, which is unheard of to you. That being said, these are tiny creatures, inches tall. They also have there's a nature about them that makes them incredibly hard to spot. So with a natural 20, you're able to catch these small little beings as they sort of are moving in these small groups around the sides of the building, as if they're trying to sort of investigate it themselves, or if they're just drawn to this area for some reason.
Who saw these?
Aiden.
Ooh.
And presumably you guys would have potentially started to see them or start to see them as I'm asking about different things that I'm pointing out and asking Cassandra about them.
Your passive perceptions will be what I use to determine how long it takes for you to actually see them. But one by one, you do begin to sort of spot them as Aiden has to continually try to point them out. Eventually, he sees one, is able to point it out, and you're able to catch it that time. For those of you who have low or poor passive perceptions, it is like you catch a glimpse of them, and then so you know that he's right, that there was something there, but you can't keep track of them. They're so small, they're very fast, they're hard to keep a good track on, a good beat on.
Mm-hmm.
Does it? You said it seems like they're just kind of also investigating or trying to get in or something, or?
Yeah, they're quickly moving around, and even you're having a hard time catching up, but you've got a good bead on at least how to find them and catch them. And it looks like when they stop, it looks like they're either most of them are keeping in groups. There's these ones that will splint off and go look somewhere else, but they sort of stop in these groups, and it almost looks like they're focusing on points of entry, or and they're either like trying to like windows. They're either like trying to peek through and look, or maybe they're trying to break.
Oh,
We
Yeah,
lost our
buffering.
DM.
DM buffering.
We should
You
capture.
Looks like
one.
you might be back.
Sorry.
We heard looks like they're trying to look or possibly break in.
Yeah, they're either looking around to find a
Nope.
Find a woo.
We should help them break in. Oh boy.
Lost him again.
What in?
I've been kidnapped the entire time.
Hello.
Hello?
Well,
Sorry about that. I don't know what is happening.
You're fine.
I'm sorry. What was the last thing you heard? Did they,
They're trying to break in.
Yeah, we
they
really
were
don't get
looking
this.
in, or
it looks like they're either trying to break in or they're trying to like peek in windows to get a better vantage point. But the only thing you do know is that they do seem to be drawn to this place for some reason.
Do I see anywhere that it looks like they might be able to get in?
Be able to do what?
Where they might be able to get in? Or like
Oh.
anything that
There are spots where they could probably get in if they wanted to, but it'd be like they'd have to know to go up and into the chimney and down and like navigate through the flume, maybe, or or something along those lines where it's like they'd have to find a way in through like an unconventional mean. Most of this place seems pretty well obfuscated in a way where it feels like or protected, I guess, in a way where it feels like they've intentionally avoided using certain materials or using certain building practices in order to keep this place as secure as possible. Even with the weird way that they've added sections to the building, the security of the building seems to have been a very prominent thought when it came to building this place out.
do we all see these? Has he pointed them out to where we can all see them?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm gonna.
Genji, do you think you could communicate with them?
You can always try.
Maybe tell them how to get in? You know, go down the chimney?
I'll reach out to one of them and try and talk to him.
It takes a second, but eventually they stop for long enough for you to catch one. And there is a moment where you reach out. What do you say?
Friends, it seems like you're trying to get in. I might know a way to help.
As you reach out, they stop. And Cassandra, you would have known this and been able to share. They are intelligent creatures. They're smarter than most people actually, but they don't have any spoken language. They don't communicate through speech or through any they don't have a means of communication normally, which is why they typically were these they normally, when you were to come across them, they would just be considered a very minor fey spirit. That's just a spirit of nature. There's stories of they one chewinga is like a singular leaf, and so there's one for each of the leaves in a forest, or there's one for every drop of rain from the sky, and there's supposed to be super minor spirits, and so when you reach in, the one that you catch sort of slows to a stop, and it turns in your direction to face you, and there is no response. It doesn't seem to have developed a language, but it is locked with you, just sort of staring in your direction.
Not if you understand me.
It nods.
Do you want help getting in? Into the building. Behind the wall.
Pauses for a moment. You feel as though it's thinking, and it nods.
If you go, I'll my hand will slightly move, and if you go up to the chimney and down.
It looks back at you, looks up at the chimney. It takes off in that direction and disappears for a moment. And then you don't see anything, but all of a sudden, you don't see it like pop back out, but all of a sudden, all of the ones that are still out, they begin to stop, and they'll swarm heading up, and they disappear down into the chimney. It's like this. It almost looks like a cloud of gnats or a cloud of flies. Just goes up and in, and disappear.
I love that.
It's about this time that the guard that was out front comes back out and sort of catches your eye, Cassandra, and says, "You're not allowed in, but I got one. One of them is free to walk around if you want to chat."
Oh, thanks. And I'm gonna fly right past him and not wait.
You do that. You go, wait, no. Fuck.
He gave me permission.
The puma was like on his way out, and you fly right over. He sort of turns around, and is like, "Oh, hey, Cassandra, right? Three sisters."
I'm gonna get Meg and just tackle hug him.
Oh,
All right. It sort of puts an arm around you very cautiously. Goes, "Oh, sorry. It's been a long day. How can I help? Did you I don't think I was missing a shipment or anything, or was there something I was supposed to give to you, or what's going on?"
No, I just wanted to come say hi. I just got back to town, and I'm sorry for the bad timing. I just wanted to say hi. That's all.
It's
I just
sort
missed
of
you.
He just sort of looks back over his shoulder and says, "I guess the timing is more my fault than yours. But well, it's been a rough couple of days, so it's good to see a familiar and friendly face now that you're back." And so now that he's sort of stepped out and met you outside, the rest of you can see Pumat for the very first time. Pumat is a strange looking individual. For most of you, I don't think you would have met a Furbolg before, but they are these very tall, very broad-shouldered, barrel-chested bovine person. He's got like blue skin, this shaggy brown hair, a big bulbous nose, and kind brown eyes. He's got like almost like the Hobbit hand fur that comes up over the back of the hand, and sort of looks a bit awkward and sheepish, kind of like he's a bit big, bit bumbling, but does his best. And as he's out here, he sort of waves in the general direction of all of you off to one end and says, well, if there was something I could help you with, I'd be happy to do so. It'd be good to be anywhere but in there right now. It's a bit hectic.
You want me to lie and say that we need your help with something? And just pretend that we need something?
He kind of looks around and goes, no, I'm
Okay,
I
so
can
listen.
come outside.
Here's what we have going on, and I'm just gonna start telling him everything that has happened to me since I left the city. Just like, and just like completely occupy his entire time.
Yeah. You get to the end of it, and he kind of goes, I'm sorry about your friend.
It's been a time.
What, is there some way I could help with that?
Probably not.
You know
I mean,
anything about the fingers?
Has to Google to figure out if he knows anything.
Hold, please. DM buffering.
Must find out. I do.
Man's rolling checks.
I'm gonna roll for him.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh boy.
No.
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 Dang it, Caleb!
Hey.
A whole lot of no.
He looks a bit.
You just hold his
Puzzled
hand
for a
up and go, yeah, I know about fingers.
Yeah.
He looks a bit puzzled for a moment. He says, I've heard the name before, but I don't know much about him.
Hey,
Not my area, unfortunately. But I could maybe help with some stuff if you're going out and doing something dangerous. Give me a moment. And he goes inside and he comes out and he's holding this little little sheet that has been magically sort of done up, and he holds out this list of stuff and goes, and I can't let you inside with the active investigation going, but there really isn't anything that should keep me from doing some trading out here for a brief moment, and I'll just tell Pumat that that I made the sale, and I'm sure he'll be fine with it.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask him what's going on.
what is actually going on? The guard wasn't very forthcoming.
I don't know if I'm technically supposed to say much.
Technically.
Sort of a active investigation going on.
Did the guard have any reaction to me coming out being normal sized instead of tiny?
There was a very confusing thing, but considering that you started small, it was like, oh, well, okay, she's obviously some kind of magic person, obviously. It's weird that there's a small flying person talking to me, but sure. And then when you grew, it was like, it was still weird, but it was like, okay, if I can believe someone this big exists, thinking that they can also magically grow to big size is like not that big of a jump. So it's just sort of like a, but he hands you this piece of paper that has items and a bunch of costs on them, and he just sort of leans over and says, "Don't worry. If this is to help your friend, just let me know what you're interested in, and I'd be happy to see if we can make it work out."
I'm just gonna like get small and hug his neck, and be like, "You're the best tonight."
Thanks. Don't tell the others that. And if there's anything on this list that you got that sticks out to you guys, he'd be happy to explain it.
Did you post the list?
Yeah, it's in HC chat.
Oh, okay.
Feather token, unlock trickery.
What is the Flame Stoker's staff?
Oh,
Why, yes, I'm assuming someone would bring that one up. So it is in D&D Beyond. The Flame Stoker's staff requires attunement by a spellcaster.
oh.
It is a permanently charred. It is permanently charred black. No matter how thoroughly it is cleaned, it always leaves a sooty residue on your hands. When swung, embers glow from the cracks along the shaft. And while attuned, you gain access to the Firebolt cantrip and can cast the Polytechnics spell once per day. These spells use your spell attack modifier and your spell save DC. Once you use Pyrotechnics in this way, you cannot do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot. So you only get it free once, but you could continue to cast Pyrotechnics from it. It's just going to take your magic from you to do it. To give a brief rundown of the other stuff, Feather Token is something that will give you Featherfall, basically, but it's a one-time use. So it's a single-use Featherfall thing, and it only works on the one person. So you'd have to buy 5 of them for all 5 of you to get Featherfall. The Lock of Trickery is, he explains that that was something that was we were asked to create for a local lord, and then he sort of with the break-ins that have been happening, he wanted to secure his place a little bit better, and then he got robbed and sort of didn't have the money to pay for the stuff anymore, and so we've got a couple of these sitting back there. They're supposed to just make it really hard for someone to pick that lock. Potion of Comprehension is comprehend languages, healing is healing. You know the Flame Stoker staff. Cloak of Protection, +1 AC. And saving throws, I think. Gloves of Missile Snaring is you can basically catch arrows that are about to hit you. Goggles of Night for anyone without dark vision, and Nature's Mantle, which is the other thing that I think might be interesting for Aiden specifically. Nature's requires attunement by a ranger or druid. This cloak shifts color and texture to blend in with the terrain surrounding you. While you're wearing the cloak, you can use it as a spellcasting focus, which doesn't really matter. But when you're in an area that is lightly obscured, you can hide as a bonus action, even if you are being directly observed.
What?
We can get sneaky and do dumb stuff.
I could, but I already have a lot of pretty useful bonus actions.
Then don't get sneaky, you jerk.
I won't,
Yeah.
but I think I want
Oh
the
boy.
Potion of Comprehension.
Absolutely. He says before it goes back, we've got 3 of them right now. How many would you like?
I think just one.
before he goes in, he's gonna ask if anyone wants anything else on this list before so he doesn't have to do a bunch of trips.
Do you want the staff?
I just wanted to make sure the potion of comprehension is comprehend languages, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Could the lock of trickery be put onto my book?
It most certainly could. He'd have to affix it a little bit differently, but it would take him a couple of minutes to make it a latch for like a book instead of like a door, like it was meant to. But yeah.
I want to go ahead and do that.
All right.
Ooh.
Anyone else?
Do you want the staff?
I don't. If anyone is interested in the cloak, I can loan some money though.
I'm thinking about the cloak. I don't.
Pyrotechnics is interesting, but I already have a damaging fire cantrip, so Firebolt's not as useful for me.
It looks like you. It leaves soot on you. What is wrong with you? Keela gave you this really nice thing.
No,
and
you're
you
good.
got one.
Wow.
Because the thing is that this works with everyone in the party except for Killian, technically. So how that would be for anyone else, it would effectively still make a, like, for example, with Fragan already has Eldritch Blast, so he doesn't need Firebolt, but he'd have an extra spell if he wanted to with Pyrotechnics, since you only have 2 per short rest.
Yeah.
If you wanted a damaging cantrip, Varnex, that would work as well. Like it's a whatever. I put it together and threw it in there. It is themed as fire, but it isn't specifically for Aiden.
Hard to use a staff when you got a 2-handed katana.
Could just do what Phoebe does on our Wednesday sessions and just start
Yeah.
merging shit together.
Meld them all together.
I guess
Is that a thing we can do?
It's one,
No.
it's one that
Absolutely
Matt
not.
has let him do just for flavor, but
It started with a hammer, and then he got an axe, and so he put them together, and he called it a hax. And then now it's got a spear on the other end
yeah.
that he can throw, which I don't know.
So it's a
how that-
Spax.
Yeah,
sure.
sounds
It-
like he just has a halberd.
yeah.
it's
And he tried-
evolving.
Ribbit.
He tried on the other end to put a sword, but the sword turned out to be sentient. So then they had
Yeah.
to not do that, and now
That got dropped pretty quick.
carried around just for conversations.
What's the most recent thing he tried to add? I'm sorry, we're getting distracted.
I'm sorry.
I think it was a quarterstaff. And we said
Oh
you
yeah,
could
it was
make
the
it.
thing for the storm giant. Yeah.
Do I want this?
Can you imagine just taking 2 wands and being like, I'm gonna put these together? Look, now I have a double-sided wand.
Also, don't remember. Who does anybody need dark vision still? I don't remember if
A lot of us
Yetev
do,
or
right?
Cassandra need it.
I know, right?
Yeah, I think the only
Or
person would be Step, right?
Does everybody else have dark vision?
It
Dragonborn.
depends. It depends on the type of. Let me check for Varnex. It depends on the type of Dragonborn he picked.
How do you see where your dark vision is?
It's under your passive perception and stuff.
I do not have dark vision then.
Okay.
Does
I think Yetev would.
No, because
Yotev would.
he just bought the goggles of night.
Did he?
He
buy those?
absolutely just bought the goggles of night because he put them on. I made fun of him looking stupid.
He does have dark vision.
Then what
Yeah.
goggles did he get?
Yotev has dark vision?
I remember making fun of him looking stupid.
I will. that
Fairy
one.
does not, so Cassandra would not have the ability.
No, I don't. I looked.
And then neither does Barnex. So you two would potentially benefit from those.
Somebody
Oh,
should definitely grab it.
the rabbits needed it.
Yeah, the rabbit definitely needed it.
I think I want the cloak. No, I don't want the cloak. Do I want the cloak? Damn it, Snooky.
I can loan, I think, 90 gold once I buy this potion. Yeah.
Well, since y'all are friends of Cassandra, it sounds like y'all are on an important mission. I'm happy to knock off some of the gold on some of this stuff. Like for the potion of comprehension, he's gonna sell for 20. The cloak of protection, he's willing to part with 350 at.
Friends
And
and
then-
family.
The goggles of night he would sell for 275. So in total, 60 gold off if you were to get all three of those.
So it'd be 645 gold for all three.
Oh, and Lock of Trickery, he would sell you for 15. So you can add that back.
Thank you.
660 total for 4.
I only have 84 gold, so I can't buy the goggles of night even if I wanted them.
Well, that's, I
Well-
think, we can probably pool to get either the cloak or the goggles. I don't know if we can get both.
I have 130 I can toss towards this.
Yeah, and if that potion's discounted, I've got 95 I can contribute.
That's 225 between just us two.
Dad, do you want the goggles of night so you have dark vision?
I was thinking about it, but I can't afford it.
That's what we're talking about. We can
Yeah, I
pool our
don't.
money together.
I'd rather not be just broke. Because
We can.
I have a new character trait that got added. So
Wait,
I'm
what?
a miser, man. My gold is very important to me.
He gets a bonus D8 for every 100 gold he's got.
No.
I will. How much is it for the goggles and the
700.
together?
The cloak
For the-
plus the goggles would have been 625.
You missed it, Dad. We have a friends
Oh.
and family discount.
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You're good. I don't care. I just bought stuff. So if we want to get the cloak and stuff, I have 0 preference.
I'm just gonna hold off until I can get armor.
You can make more goggles later, though, right, Pumont?
Sure, I can add it to the list. They always sell pretty well.
Okay. I think I want to get them later because I don't have enough right now, but that's okay.
There'll be new
Then I'm gonna
items
pull
too,
out
I
my little
suppose.
shard and I'll be like, "Look, I got this today." Feel excited.
So,
Well-
like, above the board, I think the reason those 2 items stick out the most is because even if they stop being good for the person we initially buy it for, it will probably still be good for somebody else.
Hmm. Well, I'll go ahead and grab the potion, and the lock, and I'll let you guys sit on the other 2, for a moment. He goes in, grabs them, comes back out. He takes a few minutes, but as he comes out, he looks like there's a brief moment where he looks a little worried, and he comes in to put them down to like hand them over. He kind of wipes that off pretty quick.
Why does he look worried?
Don't know.
Can I ask him why he looks worried?
Just I don't know how it happened, but it looks like there's these little there's some stuff going on upstairs. I'm sure it'll be fine. The other Pumat's got it.
Is it super secret? You can't talk about it?
Well,
Right.
I don't know what is he sort of looks over the shoulder. The guard is far enough away, and he kind of mutters a little bit under his breath. We had an item come in 3-4 days ago that was very cursed. Very a lot going on with it.
Very
And
cursed.
We
Very
tried
a lot.
to we tried to fix it, and it
If it didn't go well.
it didn't go well. It sort of fought back a little bit, and
Oh my!
now there's a lot of little people in our upstairs, and I don't know what that's about.
Are
You
they?
mean like these guys? And I'll point to one of the little face.
Oh, they're all gone.
Yeah, they're all
They're
gone.
all gone.
I-
As
I-
a herd, and this little swarm all went together in the chimney. The moment that one of them made it in, they
You may-
all went and
Yeah,
collectively
you
left.
may have missed it, but I
Love
sent
it.
them all. I sent them all in up through the chimney.
Which but you do get that is probably what he's talking about.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
He's talking about these
Yeah.
many people.
Normally,
all-
So-
I'm not.
Alright.
Normally, I'm not like happy. Like I have like a straight face on my doll face. I feel very content about.
So
the
are
thing
they-
that just happened?
Are there anything like Kenji here? Little and creepy?
They're about that big, but about as creepy. Yeah.
Did they come from the object?
Who just eyes grow wide, staring at you like.
Don't talk to him. He's evil.
Are you what are you?
I'm just here to help.
Puts his
Make some
glasses
friends.
up a little bit further and looks closely at you. Goes,
Oh.
I'll open my monstrous eye. as
Say
well.
hello to my little friend.
hmm.
I tried to tell you he was evil, but I don't like him.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you. How much for your cursed item?
That's not for sale. We're trying to get the curse removed still. When it's off, I'm sure would be happy to look into a price for you, but for now, I don't know if I can sell that in good conscience.
If you take it off, do you lose all those friends that you have inside?
If I take it off.
The curse.
Oh, I don't know. I just sort of ran inside to take care of your stuff, and there's some yelling and cursing and confusion going on up there. And so I sort of poked my head up, saw the situation, and then chose to walk away.
I'll just
I'm a
chuckle.
high five for my like. That's right.
I don't really know what would happen. I don't know what's going on right now, so I don't know if I can tell you what's happening with the whole. Yeah, I don't know.
If you figure out how to get those little friends, I'd like them to be my friends. I could take them off your hands.
I don't know if I have any authority over him. But I mean, he kind of looks at you for a minute and slowly looks over at Cassandra, and you kind of get this idea.
I don't
of,
like it. Mm-mm.
well, you get this sense of like Pumat kind of has an idea almost. He goes, You're traveling with this one here. Does that mean you're familiar with cursed items?
I might be. I might be able to help. We haven't talked, Cassandra and I. She won't let me talk to her. Everybody else I can talk to.
Interesting. Well, if perhaps we were to attempt to remove the curse a second time, and we had some fellow curse breakers on hand to help us when it fights back, would y'all be able to help with that? Maybe.
How much you paying?
Sort of thinks to himself and says, I'd have to talk with the others, but we can figure out a price, and honestly,
Exclusively to Varnex while he's figuring this out, I'm going to say, if we can get those things that we saw to be our friends, then we shouldn't take as much money, if anything.
Can I reply in my head?
Are you talking about the little things, or are you talking about the cloak and the goggles?
The little things. They'll be more than their weight in gold. If we can.
They
Be
may
friends
come
with
in
them.
handy down the road.
Yeah. We should see if
Sort of-
removing the curse will affect that.
he sort of turns back towards you and says, we can discuss a price, or maybe we do some trade. We can get you the cloak, or the gloves, or goggles, or whatever y'all would be interested in, and maybe that'd be something you'd be interested in. Or I guess, you asked about the cursed item. When we remove the curse, I guess that could be something.
What is the item?
It's a sword. About sort of gestures to about the size of a either a longer than normal long sword or a shorter than normal great sword. Sort of in the middle between those two.
A bastard sword?
Something like that, yeah. It's weird sort of magic to it, but maybe it'll find the right hands once this curse has been removed from it.
What's the curse?
He it sort of fills the person that's holding it with a little bit of extra rage and anger and bloodlust. So we're trying to get rid of the whole bloodlust part of it. That way, whenever we sell it, and whoever we sell it to, they get they get to choose who they kill, I guess is the best way to put it.
Oh, so once you do it, you just start killing. Party members, everything.
Yeah, it seems like the curse is of bloodlust, where it's like, I need to keep going, sort of a curse. So you cut down all the enemies, and now your friends start to look like enemies, and you start to cut them down too. So they're trying to remove that to make it to where it's like, oh, this is still a really strong, powerful sword, but I'm not about to kill all my friends in a frenzied bloodlust after each fight.
We don't see any.
Do you
changes
think we
around,
can-
do we? Oh,
You
sorry.
think we can help them remove it?
Can always try. It doesn't sound like they would have came from that, which bodes well for us.
but they're doing something there. There must be something else that they
Can I look
want.
around for one?
You look around. You take a full, like, couple of minutes. You can reach out with your mind a little bit to try to see if you get a ping. They've all entered the building. They are not a single one is back out here.
I know that they were having trouble, so I wasn't sure if they'd be like on the balcony or like up top. If you're seeing them, like
No, it was when one of them came in. Somehow
Yeah.
they all knew how to do it, and they all
Yeah.
immediately, as a swarm, went inside.
When would you be able to try to remove the curse again? Do they have to finish the investigation, or?
Maybe we do this tonight. I'll go in and I'll chat with the investigator and see what they've got. If they think it's a good idea, maybe one of them can stick around and be there as well. We can show that we didn't mean anything by what happened.
Oh. So the person who picked the sword up, did he have to be killed, or was he able to stop?
No one went under the effect. It was more that when we started to remove the curse, the weapon itself fought back. It doesn't want the curse removed, and so it sort of fought us on it. Yeah.
I think we could look at helping detain it, so you can finish the job tonight.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah. With that, he will sort of excuse himself to go bring this up with Pumont. See what he has to think, and he sort of looks over at you, Cassandra, and says, "We'll let you know."
Okay. I'm gonna head up to the Tri-Spire then and probably have dinner with my sisters.
You begin to make your way to the Tri-Spires. Where's everyone else going? What is everyone else doing?
Well, I assume that Kenji and I are gonna try to help remove this curse.
That'll be later today.
Oh.
This is still like they're talking about like come back at night and we'll do this. We're at about
Right, yeah.
like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening.
Got it. Then I'll see about finding an inn for us and some dinner.
All right.
I'll ask the guy if he suggests an inn, so that he'll know where we're staying.
The guard or Pumont?
Pumont. He's our
How
new
nice
friend.
Of
Yeah.
an inn do you want?
Well, middle class, upper middle class.
He says there's 2 in the Pentamarket if you wanted to go check one of those out. One of them is down the road, the Lodge of the Eclipse. They have performances every night. It's a nice time. Or there's the other one. They're new and they're a bit not to my taste. But there's the Sleight of Hand down the other end of the Pentamarket. And you do recall that the Sleight of Hand is where Terry and Darrington had mentioned that a certain informant would be found.
No one likes going there because they just have ska every night.
So that's where we're headed, right?
That is so the.
No,
that
I'm
is
saying
the
it to party in general. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
All right. So
Tell Pumbaa, whatever his name is, that we'll be headed to the
Pumbaa.
Sleight of Hand.
Jesus.
yeah.
Pumbaa
it's-
there.
Oh boy.
That's close enough.
Sorry.
It's like
you
Pumat
all
Soul's been on
have
support phone calls before.
Yeah, you all have a good time. We'll see you tonight. He goes back inside, and we will end with Cassandra heading off towards the Tri-Spires, and the rest of you heading towards the Sleight of Hand. We talk to a contact from.
I think.
Do you want to go to the track?
Yeah, I think if we have enough time, I'd try to go to the Tri-Spires as well.
Okay, sure. Absolutely. I'm going to change that in my notes real quick.
Steph, do you want to go with me or no?
I'm gonna go with Varnax and
Perf.
Angie.
I just wanted to clarify. So I'm new.
We have the responsible and irresponsible squad.
Yep.
Yo, we're responsible.
Whoa. We're
I
the
figured
best
you may not
squad.
want an undead guy walking around in Tri-Spire, so.
No, I would have been fine with you coming.
I don't think you want a super evil paladin walking around there either.
Don't
Absolutely
worry,
not. Yeah.
Don't worry, Killian. We'll make it there
And,
soon.
you know, the best of the three to have walking around there, a sentient, creepy doll.
Absolutely
Eat
not.
souls.
Yeah, I was not inviting this one. So by default, that meant I was not inviting. Right.
So,
Don't worry,
Uh,
Killian and Varnex. We will make it there soon enough.
Make your own Tri-Spire. Blackjack and hookers.
Christ.
The better Tri-Spire. New Tri-Spire is what we're
Get the
calling
Tri-Spire.
The new and improved.
it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Alright.
So we have the same reaction.
Sound off real quick before signing off and doing the quick vote at the end. Start off with Cassandra.
I'm Lady Brittany. I stream Mondays through Saturdays on twitch.tv/lady_Brittany. I play a lot of Helium, Comfy Cozy stuff. I have a sponsored stream on Friday, October the 5th. I'm very excited. We're going to start a book club this month. So lots of fun, exciting things happening. We do Comfy Cozy chaotic content. I don't know. It's a fun time. Husband?
I'm the husband. I play D&D on Sundays, and I don't really have social media or anything.
Steph?
Hey, I'm Step Freak. You can find me on Twitch, Step Freak with 2 E's. Or you can find me on YouTube at Step Freak Plays.
Dad?
I'm the dad. I'm OEF5, so I'm Lady B's IRL father, and I play D&D on Sundays. So here we are.
If the ADHD tangent that Fragan and I went on about a friend of ours Swiss Army knife of a weapon is at all interesting to you, I play D&D with Fragan and that character on Empoleon Dynamite's stream on Wednesday nights if you are interested in more D&D. Otherwise, I don't do anything, so that's all I got.
Nice. I'm Fragan. I do a variety of things. Just YouTube is where we play D&D. I've just posted a link in the chat. All this month, we're raising money for St. Jude's. So please go visit that link to donate. This year, we're going to raise $15,000. And if we do, I will get the logo that we've chosen, or that we've made this year, tattooed on my body. It will be great. My brother suggested on my head, and I don't think that that's going to happen. So, yeah.
On your face.
No, we're not going to have that happen either. I need to still get a job. People are still old school. Yes, so twitch.tv /Fragonwagon, twitter.com / the Fragonwagon for more updates on that. But yeah.
Neck tattoo.
I was actually about to say what you should do is you should shave your beard, get it tattooed under your beard, and then regrow it. And every year, as a reward, if you get to a certain level, you shave the beard so it says "for the kids" again.
Yo, you're gonna make me work out to lose the chins that I've worked so long to hide. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. That's why I never offer it as a redemption to lose the beard fully. But yeah,
It's always to like diet or whatever.
oh, 100%, yeah. All right, thanks, guys. See you next week. Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
I'm out, boys and girls.